You should have seen us arguing before we even tried to get on her, because I'm trying to use this new software and he's just adamant about not using it because he can't figure it out. I don't know. He's this intelligent guy, but I can't figure out how to use.
There's nothing to figure out.
It
doesn't work.
Yeah, it does work. It does work. You finally graced us with your presence.
Yeah,
all
hail
hail
the charger off.
All hail.
So you wouldn't complain about the noise.
Yes, all hail Beaker Q. Just like you complain about when we set up a pit, and if one banner stripe is 2 millimeters off, you're like, oh, fix it.
Nitro is the glory. Welcome to the No Name RC podcast with your host tonight, Keenan White, aka Lefty the Great, and if you are unlucky, the Finnish village idiot, JQ. This is the RC podcast with no name, but plenty of content. So sit back, relax, and get ready for some serious bench racing.
Yes, indeed. Nitro's the glory, but E-Buggy pays the bills. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode number 81 of the No Name RC podcast. I'm your host, Keenan White, a.k.a. Lefty the Great. And, of course, joining me as usual is my co-host, who I have muted right now because he's probably going to do something stupid and rude and noisy, Beaker Q, a.k.a. Joseph Quagrain. So we have episode 81 this week. Joining me is a local promoter from Region 2, as he calls it, which is the Virginia, Pennsylvania, Maryland, a little bit of North Carolina and South Carolina area. He's been putting on some races. He's got his own race series. Actually has two. One is called USRC, and the other is FX Nitro. He also has a ever-growing race team called Famed Wolf Racing. Thank you, Mr. Rob Issac, for coming on. It was a great conversation with Rob. We share a lot of ideas. His passion for RC is immense, what he wants to do. He wants to grow RC. He has big plans, as we all do. And as you know, I am 100% on for growing RC by any means necessary. So thank you to Rob. Thank you for the Famed Wolf racing guys. That group of guys is getting really big, and it's really unique what they have going on. And yeah, it's pretty cool. So thanks, Rob. Good luck with USRC as well as FX Nitro. He also had he had Motor Week or something at his last race at Adrenaline RC Raceway last week, which Ryan Lutz attended, and he had talks all about that stuff. So yeah, good stuff. Before I go on any further, I want to shout out and say thank you to all of the hashtag NNRC squad from around the world. Thank you guys for your support. None of this is possible without any of you guys. We had this limited supply shirt that I released. We only had a few sizes left, so thank you to everybody who bought one of those. We do have a few 3Xs and 4Xs left, so if you're a big boy like me and you want a cool limited edition shirt, hit me up on the podcast. Shout out to my patrons on Patreon that support me, that show love and help pay these bills. The studio is almost done. Should be shooting video from here next week. We're going to be doing the call-in segment. We got some cool things for that. I was talking to Wally. He's all pumped and ready. Thank you to my patrons on Patreon. I mean, honestly, you guys go the extra mile, and I can't do it without you. And I thank every one of you guys. And if anybody's interested in being a Patreon, just go there. They're getting early releases. They're getting giveaways. Yeah, I even just messages. I try to post something up there at least once a week and just talk to them because I appreciate what they're doing for the No Name RC podcast, because we need that, keep these bills paid. Shout out to all of our awesome sponsors that support this podcast. Another group of people that we could not do this without. So thank you to Tekno RC. Good luck to all of the Tekno RC drivers at PNB this weekend. JQ Racing, of course, I love JQ Racing. That's where I work. That's my family. Motley Crew of Misfits, the Bad News Bears. Shout out to all of my JQ Racing family around the world. Good luck to all the JQ Racing guys at PNB. Thank you, Tony Scarcella and Mitchell Watson, for all your help. And Beach RC is looking good there. Beach RC, man, doing it big. Brent's up there. He's racing 8 scale again. Lucas has got the white whale. Brent's wrenching on his car yesterday, prepping his car yesterday, but he's a busy man. Thank you to Beach RC, Brick and Mortar Hobby Shop. Check them out. And show them some love because they show the podcast some love. Shout out to Rob's Oil, new sponsor on board. Check out Rob's Oil for all of your AMSOIL products. Thank you, Rob's Oil. Shout out to Manscaped.com. Manscaped.com, man. Don't, cut through that jungle and find your manhood. We got some funny ad reads for that. Thank you to everybody that's gone out and purchased a Lawnmower 3.0 and used promo code No Name. Also, a big shout out to Papa Willie's Traction Tonic. He's doing some good stuff. He's really big in the oval world, and his Traction Tonic is doing really good, winning lots of races, lots of podiums. Shout out to Scooter over there at Papa Willie's Traction Tonic. And of course, BK Servers. Thank you, BK Servers, for all of your support. And I think they're getting some servers in shortly so people can go buy them. If anybody's interested in advertising on our podcast, please contact me. We have tiers for all companies. If you're a small company in RC and you want to advertise and think that this is a great platform for promoting your company, give me a shout. If you're a big company and you want to, promote your company even more on this platform, give me a shout. Anyway, thank you to everybody. Long introduction. I always like to say thank you to everybody. So where is Joseph? He's probably not even listening. Joseph, where are you? Yep. Just like I thought, he muted me. You should have seen us arguing before we even tried to get on her because I'm trying to use this new software and he's just adamant about not using it because he can't figure it out. I don't know. He's this intelligent guy, but I can't figure out how to use.
There's nothing to figure out. It doesn't work.
Yeah, it does work. It does work. You finally graced us with your presence.
Yeah, I all hail the charger off.
All hail.
So you wouldn't complain about the noise.
Yes, all hail Beaker Q. Just like you complain about when we set up a pit, and if one banner stripe is 2 millimeters off, you're like, oh, fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I turned the charger off.
Well, that's why I want better audio. So what's going on, Beak? How you doing, man? What you been up to?
Testing, and we have our first race tomorrow.
Oh, really?
My first race.
Where's that to?
My home track.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Nice. So I guess you guys haven't moved it yet, like you said you was.
Not yet.
So will all your nemesises be there?
Yeah.
So this is why you're all serious and uptight this morning. This is Friday morning, so we're recording this. We were supposed to record this yesterday.
I had to keep the track to come and record this bullshit, and then I'll go back after this.
Well,
you wanted to waste time with some program that we already know doesn't work with my Windows 7.
No, upgrade, dude. Get Windows 10. Stop being, upgrade. I can already tell you're in a pissy mood. You're all nervous because your first race and you want to do well. Jesus.
I'm not nervous.
Yes, you are. Joseph, I know you by now. Stop it. Hey, so 24 hours of practice started at PNB today. Joseph, have you seen the track?
No.
It's big. It looks really good. They have they used every inch of that arena. It's big. It's no wall. Thankfully, I hated that wall last year. They actually tilled up area of the like a 35-foot section of the track, and just not smoothed it up, but just raked it all up and just left it loamy. So it's like a dirt sand pit, which I think is going to be pretty cool. I think it's going to spew a lot of dirt all over the place, but we'll see. They just started practice. It's going to get really rough in there. It's got a 270-foot, almost 300-foot front straightaway. That's pretty impressive. And if you take the Joker lane, because it has a Joker lane, I think it's even longer than that because it's a sweeper coming onto that and then coming onto the straightaway and then a sweeper coming off. I don't know, man. People are going to have to gear up for that track. 14-tooth pinion, Spurger, clutch bow. I think we're going to see some rods pop on that front straightaway. Lean it out a little bit more. Yink. We're going to see something happen. But the track looks really good. I'd be interested to see how it holds up. Well, not holds up, what people have to say about it after practice, after a few hours of practice. It's got a break in. So that just started at 6 a.m., 24 hours. It looks really good. Dave, as usual, has got the monsters and all that stuff. It's a shame. We was all supposed to go to this race in April. It was going to be our last American shebang for the year. And it's just, COVID messed that all up. So he wasn't able to do that, unfortunately. But yeah, I think he's got plexiglass partitions on the driver's stand. So usually they would try to put 15 to 16 people up there to drive. Now I think it's only 12. I think you can only have one person to pitch you. I'm not quite sure. But it's good to see the obligatory, we're headed to PNB. That's a lot of the California guys are headed over, like Jose Alvaro and Cody Taylor and what's that guy? As always, realized HB, big tall dude. They're all, I don't know if they drove over there or what, but a lot of people are coming from all over America. Westergaard's there, your buddy. Remember, you're supposed to travel with Westergaard. Man, stop being so quiet. Say something. Or use your drill or something.
No.
Oh, I can see it's going to be one of these days today. I can see what day it's going to be.
Just get on with it.
You're all nervous. You're all nervous about going to race tomorrow. And, you're in your mind, you will have to beat Max, and you're worried. I know you, Joseph.
I'm not even worried about Max.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to win.
Mm-hmm. JQ Threads motocross clothes looking good. I like the promos. Are you taking those pictures?
No.
Looks good. Who's that guy riding that bike again? Who's that guy using it here?
Vehicle.
Is he a
local race?
Okay, local.
Racing.
All right. Is the guy who uses who promotes JQ Threads in MXGP going to be using your gear, or is that not allowed?
No.
Is he still going to? Oh, okay. Yeah, probably has a deal for his own gear, I would assume, that pays him money and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Also, I think I saw your iPad cases and stuff already, or what's going on with that?
Yeah, I don't have them yet.
Okay.
I just got a sample.
How do you like it?
It's good.
Yeah?
It's going to be good.
She done a good job?
Yeah.
That's good, man. What's her name again?
Hello, Tip.
Hello, Tip. Well, congratulations, Hello, Tip. First JQ Threads opportunity taker to make something of it. That's cool. I know that was your goal.
That's right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So where can people get their JQ Threads, Joseph?
JQthreads.com.
And you're shipping worldwide, correct?
Worldwide from Finland, yeah.
Okay. So how much would shipping to like America cost for one of their shirts?
I have to check. Let's see. I can't remember. We had some orders for America and Canada already.
Yeah. I know Sean Rusin, he bought one. Man, Sean's awesome, dude. That guy listens to every RC podcast, buys shirts from everybody.
$15.
That's not bad. What's the ETA on the shipment from there?
Well, we ship regular mail, so it's about a week.
Okay. Sounds good though. Sounds pretty decent. You can't complain about that. I don't think.
No, it's okay. It's in line with other stores, looks like.
Sweet. I don't know, man. Anything else to say before we move on? You're just so nervous. I know it. I know you're nervous.
I'm not nervous.
Uh-huh.
Just like you said, I was addicted to Facebook. No, I wasn't.
Yes, you are.
How did that work out? I just quit like that, doing nothing.
Yeah. But you was trying to make excuses a couple of weeks ago about not being it's not changing anything and blah 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 and blah 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 and
no, because you were wrong. Just like you're wrong now.
It's only been a month and a bit, so once an addict, always an addict, Joseph.
I don't have an addictive personality or whatever.
That's bullshit.
It really isn't.
That's bullshit. Anyway, you know what? Let's talk about some race results and some news. So, the NNRC news is brought to you by www.manscaped.com. Manscaping is the new thing, Joseph. You need to get into that. Have you started manscaping yet?
No, I haven't got a lawnmower.
Yeah, well, you should go buy one. You get 20% off when you use the promo code NONAME at www.manscaped.com. And apparently they have free shipping. But you know why you should use the Lawnmower 3.0, Joseph? Because you don't nick your nuts. And that's every man's. Yeah. You wouldn't know about that. You need to cut something off entirely else that you have, right? First off the bat.
What's that?
You heathen. Can you stop moving? You're messing up my ad read here. So, anyway.
I'm exactly how God intended me to be.
Right. That's not true. So.
Yes, it is.
Anyway, you should get the Lawnmower 3.0. Get all shaved up, and it looks bigger when you do that. You know, luckily, I'm really enjoying mine. In fact, I used it this morning before I came here to the studio to touch up my beard again because it's multi-purpose. I'm probably going to have to order some, I'm going to order some extra blades here pretty soon. But yeah, man, let's cut through the jungle to find your manhood. So why should you use the Manscaped Lawnmower 3.0? Because it's a third generation trimmer, features a cutting edge ceramic blade to reduce manscaping accidents like nicking your nuts. And thanks to Manscaped advanced skin safe technology, you won't. It's waterproofed. It has a cool LED light, a 7,000 RPM motor with quiet stroke technology, and it has a docking port that you just put it in. I plug it in. I have it on my dresser. Luckily, my daughter hasn't got up to it and started cutting her hair off. I plug it, just put it in this docking bay, and it goes. I wash it off when I finish, clipping my, I was shaving my chest a little bit here the other day. It's time. It's looking like I got to get shorn here soon. So, yeah. Loving my Lawnmower 3.0, loving my ball deodorant, and it also comes with this cool, like, little leather travel package case, man. So nice. I needed one of these for when I start traveling. So, go to www.manscaped.com, use promo code NONAME in all caps, and get yourself one of these ball shaving kits from Manscaped. And your balls will thank you. So get on that, Joseph. And let me know, hey, if you guys get one, shoot me a message. I know you guys probably don't want to send this in public. But if you do, that's cool because I have no shame in my game. But if you get one and you use the promo code, let me know. Thank you. I appreciate all the support. So, RC news, Joseph. Let's talk about a few races that happened this past week. We had JBRL. That happened. That was the biggest race this past weekend. So it looks like all the big boys were there. We had Cav, we had Mayfield, Drake was there. Obviously, it was at Thunder Alley. Track looked pretty good. Jackson Brunson was there, surprisingly fast. Jackson's improved a lot, man. He's improved so much. Really impressed with Jackson. I'm trying to get the entry card. It was a good bit of people there. Good bit of people. I think it was like 100 and something participants, maybe. Let me bring it up here on Live RC. I should have had this.
Is Jackson Brunson living with Rivkin now?
I don't know what's going on with those guys. I think they live with not with each other. I know that sounds weird. I think they live, for instance.
Isn't he from Florida or something?
No, Jackson's from Georgia. So they Rivkin was over there staying with. He goes out to stay with Rivkin a lot, right? And they go and practice. That's one of the reasons he's getting faster. So he hangs out with Rivkin. He races there a lot at they do a lot of 10 scale there, they do a lot of 8 scale there, and obviously goes back and forth to California. And then Rivkin was overstaying with him for a while. They were doing East Coast stuff there while things were shut down. So yeah, they're like I forget what they call themselves, the Nerd Herd or something like that. But yeah, they hang out and it's showing, it's paying off, man. I mean, look, we had Ryan Mayfield first, Cav second. Happy birthday to Cav too. Happy belated was his birthday yesterday. You didn't say happy birthday to Cav yesterday?
Oh, I'm not on Facebook, so I don't know when people's birthdays are.
That's your boy too. Jesus, man. It was his birthday yesterday. I hit him up. I said, "How you doing?" He's like, "I'm here at PNB." I said, "Well, have a couple of drinks for me. Enjoy your day and good luck this weekend." Ron Duvall. Interesting. Jackson Brunson, Carlos Arredondo, Westergaard in 7th, Dylan Nelson in 8th, I wonder is Dylan Nelson still running TLR or did they switch? I think they switched.
Who knows?
Our co-host Wally Builds in 9th, Spencer Rifkin in 10th, Jermaine Robinson improving. That kid's getting faster. He only did 5 minutes though, so he must have had a malfunction somewhere. And Cole Jensen. I tell you what, man, Jermaine's going to be a young man to watch in the future here. He's young and he's fast. He's doing well. Rifkin had issues, but yeah, it's good to see all of this going on at JBRL. I know you're not a big fan of JBRL, but it doesn't matter what you think. It's a good turnout.
JBRL makes you want to quit racing.
Makes you want to quit racing. Obviously, these people do not want to quit.
A lot of people.
Because
a lot of people.
It had 147 drivers and 234 entries. So not everybody feels like you do, Joseph. Not everybody feels like you do. I already can tell that you're just.
Should we bring up waking up and getting punched in the face analogy again?
No, you said that enough. If you want to do a quick synopsis of it, but we're doing the news, so we're not talking about your thoughts on JBRL, okay?
Okay. Was that all the news?
No.
Move on.
Sun City RC Raceway, shout out to Joey Showers and those guys. They had their annual MDA race. I actually raised like $1,000 for this race last year. They had a light turnout, obviously, because of COVID. But I wanted to talk about this race because they like the starting grid. Have made a starting grid. I mean, a starting gate. Sorry, for their track. So they've done it a little different, and their track's a little bit bigger now. It looks really good. They have one gate like right on the straightaway that holds 6 cars, I believe. And then if you qualify, if you're in the lower 6, you're kind of like it's a sweeper. So you're kind of down at like it's a sweeper, but it's like, I don't know how, I have to see it, but it's like the gates it's 2 gates, but they're separate in different positions. So the front guys, they got out, which is clean, the 6 guys, and then the guys just like half a second behind coming around on the corner because they come down the straight. Like, so the first gates, like imagine you're looking at it, you have one gate to your left. That's like on the straightaway. Let's say the straightaway is going from left to right in front of you. You have one gate at the very left there. And then I think you have one gate, let's say, on the sweeper, but like on a straightaway before the sweeper coming to the straightaway. So they have 2 gates. You start there and you start there. Yes, and it just separates them. They're both starting out on like straightaway, so it isn't all carnage and all that stuff. And it looked like it worked great, and everybody enjoyed it. So, yeah, shout out to the Joey Showers, Corbin Showers. Joey Showers says he misses you and unblock him on Facebook. I had to tell him that you aren't on Facebook anymore. So, yeah, you should send him a message once in a while and say hello.
How did he take that news?
He just laughed. But it's pretty cool how they did the starting gate. I wish I could send you videos of this, but I can't. So, because you're not on Facebook. Because it's not on YouTube.
You can still see videos from Facebook without being on Facebook.
Oh, okay. All right. And I'll send it to you. I'll tag you in it. What other news do we have? Let's see.
Tag me. You can send me the link.
All right. So I see that Ultimate Racing has released a new black HD pipe set. Have you got one of them, Joseph?
No. I haven't seen anything like that.
Yeah, see, you're missing a lot. So yeah, the Ultimate Racing 2141 HD black pipe set. So it's like that black ceramic coating on it to make it harder. And yeah, Brent was on Talk It Up Tuesday on Live RC about Brent. Tyler Hooks interviewed him. Ryan Schaefer, appointed team manager of Fame Wolf. Well, Fame Wolf is the owner of that race. That race team was Rob Issac. He was on the podcast this week. Looks like lots of racing across the board. LCRC had a race up in Pennsylvania. I believe it's Pennsylvania, that area. Let's see. Who else? USRC race that we was talking about at Adrenaline. Ryan Lutz went to that. He won that, but Ryan Lutz isn't attending PNB, I was told. I don't think Billy Talaska's going or whatever either. So no Lutz at PNB, is what I'm been told. It's unfortunate because I was hoping that he would go there. He has to kind of redeem himself from Montpellier and whatnot, but he has to.
Why did you say he's not going?
I don't think Billy Talaska's going. Doesn't look like it, and I don't know. Maybe because of COVID. I don't know. I just heard he isn't going. I was told he isn't going.
Well, he thought the world was going to end in 2012, so COVID is probably a big deal. So I don't think he'll be traveling.
Maybe he had to. No, he wouldn't have to fly there because he drove to Virginia. Who knows?
Yeah, but there's a lot of people.
Yes, that's the issue. So, yeah, I have to respect that. So I am.
Yeah, a lot of people decide not to travel.
Yeah. So no big deal there. Let's go to Circus RC because I saw that Canas was racing this weekend too. Canas is from what part of Spain, Joseph?
South of Spain.
Is that the Andalusian?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, he won.
South.
He won this race, the Andalusian something round or whatever.
It's a region there.
Yeah, a regional race. And hold on, where is it? Yeah, sweeps Andalusian champs. I'm surprised we ain't seeing more Battier racing at these races.
It's like a 10-hour drive or something.
Is it? Okay. We had the Russian 8-scale buggy nats, Ishkan, and Torinov. They won that. No idea who those guys are. We had racing in South Africa on that cool asphalt-looking type of track. And, hey, Lee Martin beat Elliott Boots at, and looks like Jamie Clancy. Let's see. At Nemo Raceway. Have you seen that track, man? That track's really nice. The Nemo racing track.
I haven't seen video. I have seen some pictures.
Oh man, John has invested a lot of money. They got AstroTurf all on the inside. It's really nice. So Lee's been there for a while. I was Lee Martin first, Boots third, and who's second here? Let me see. It says Berman? Yeah, I don't know who that is. Lee Martin. Lewis Jones, sorry, one of the Jones brothers. And Elliott Boots in third. I saw Bloomfield race the other day too. He won. He got back to racing. He's good friends with the Jones brothers. But yeah, Lee Martin doing it big up there. He's had a lot of laps on that track. He's been at that race a lot. And your good buddy Elliott Boots there, who I don't think is ever going to speak to you again. So,
well,
good stuff.
Some people just
shut up.
Remaining ignorant is a choice, you know?
Well, anyway. But good to see racing all across the board, all over the world. And yeah, nothing else. T-Works. Juan Carlos Canas joins T-Works. T-Works must have a good bit of money, man. They're getting a lot of drivers on their team.
Yeah, I'm paying them.
Giving them free product.
Some free stuff.
Probably contingency too.
I don't know about that. Hey, when did Live RC release a new website?
It's been a while. It's a bit different, isn't it? It's been about a month and a half, I would say. About
time they released a new website. Jeez.
Man, do you ever not complain?
It's not complaining. I'm just saying it's good they have a new website.
You must have looked into the mirror today. Must have.
I think I look into the mirror every day.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the biggest asshole of them all? Not you, JQ. Not you. Step it up a bit. Jesus.
Okay, that's news. Next fucking segment.
Wow. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your enthusiasm, Joseph. It's really appreciated. It really is. You know what? The next segment is the Beach RC Bench Racing Q&A.
BeachRC.com, the racer's one-stop online hobby shop. Choose from all the popular brands and variety in stock with super fast shipping and great customer service. BeachRC.com still has the local hobby shop feel with all the benefits of the internet. BeachRC.com is the exclusive distributor for Ultimate Racing, JQ Racing, Pro Circuit Racing Tires, Nitro Lux Fuels, and Assault RC Performance products. So fill up your cart and check out at BeachRC.com today.
Thank you, Beach RC, for bringing us the Bench Racing Q&A. Bench RC is a brick and mortar hobby shop. You got an awesome staff. In fact, Lucas and Brent are currently at PNB with the White Whale, the trailer fully stocked. So if you're at PNB, you need something, go check them out. Tell them Lefty sent you. And if you can, please use our affiliate link when you order stuff. Also, if you want some NNRC swag, they got hats and shirts there. Nitro's the glory. And hey, probably going to get some more going there soon. We got some cool designs in my mind, and Brent's going to be doing some shirts there soon. So check them out at beachrc.com. If you can, use our affiliate link. And hey, if you buy some NNRC gear swag from there, please tag me in it. Tag us in it, because I want to see, man. I want to see who's supporting, and I appreciate everybody that goes out there and buys some shirts and rocks them. So anyway, Joseph, to the Q&A questions. We have quite a few questions. We're getting more and more questions on Instagram now lately. So that's a good thing. IG is growing for us. IG is growing. Okay. First question is from Facebook. Joe Zara Jr. of Ran Out of Talent. What's up, Joe? Was listening to your podcast earlier this week. Joe asked, have you found a Region 7 manager yet? No, I haven't, Joe. I was hoping that you would do it. The guy that I want to do it, I'm trying to convince him, but we'll see. So maybe you should step up. I know you're busy, Joe, but I think you'd be a good manager as well. He asked, do you think some of the new racers that the no prep scene creates will stay in the hobby and move in other disciplines when no prep dies out? So, Joseph, you know that the no prep drag scene is really booming right now. I know you ain't into drag racing, but it's a part of RC that's booming right now. A lot of the off-road guys that do 8 scale, 10 scale, they're doing no prep as well. Like I guess it's like a hobby part for them. Like you know what I mean? It's like their hobby within the hobby. I see it's really popular with the off-road guys that are doing it. I think it's bringing new people in, especially with the associated DR10 that was released. They released the RTR, and they're going to release the kit here soon. So it's bringing new people in because it looks scale. It looks easy, but it's not as easy as you think it is, even for myself. So is it going to die out? I don't think so. I think it's going to grow. It may. If it gets too, like, if too many companies start making all this type of stuff and it gets too expensive, kind of like how short course went, then maybe it will suffer. But, you know, because we're our worst enemies as manufacturers and RC guys. We want everything. The thing is, I want to see this stay kind of simple. I mean, maybe there can be a class for like pro stock or whatever they call it. I'm not really familiar with drag racing terms. Do I think that these drivers will cross over into what we do or any other genre of RC? I don't know. I hope they do, but and I'm not saying that drag racing is easy, because I was talking to my buddy Sean Rosen, big supporter. He was showing me it's amazing what they're doing with the ESC settings for these drag racing cars, Joseph. Lots of programming in their radio, lots of programming in their ESC. They want like delays, and they want more power at this time, like near the end of their run. It's pretty interesting what they're doing, and they're doing a lot of stuff to get these cars to go straight, because as simple as you think it is to go straight, it isn't as simple to go straight, especially with these no prep cars. So So
how long does a run last?
Not even a second or two. They write 132 feet, I think. That's what it is.
What, 3 seconds? 2 seconds?
No, I don't even know, man. It's like, yeah, maybe 2-3 seconds. I'm probably wrong on that. But
well, let's just say it's 4 seconds.
It's not, though. It probably is.
Well, 3. Mm-hmm. They just do it like one time.
No, well, how they do, they also race for money. So you pay in, and then it's like, it's also a fast race day. You get in.
But it's like one run, or it's
one run,
best out of something?
No, one run, and then you go, like the winner out of that goes into, and they pull, how they do it is they pull names out of chips, like out of hats and stuff like that, I think.
That sounds worse than a JBRL.
No,
you
no,
sit
but
around for hours and then you.
No, but that's like, the thing. That's
I got 3 seconds of runtime.
That's the beautiful thing. That's the beautiful thing about it is that you ain't there for hours and hours. These race days don't last that long. It's more of a gathering.
Honestly, it sounds like something that if you like the socializing and you like wrenching on your stuff and like beating your time and figuring out how to go fast, like if that's what you enjoy, then maybe you'll enjoy that. If you like racing, then sounds ridiculous to me.
Well, they are racing. See, you always got to complain. They are racing. They are racing.
I know they are, but if racing is what you like, then it sounds like fucking shooting yourself in the head would be more fun.
No, don't knock it till you try.
You go there all day and you run for 3 seconds.
But wow. You can then. Listen. Can I finish? So after the official racing, the money racing is done, you can then have grudge races, and then you can race as long as you want. That you can call people out and say, yeah, I want to race you. Let's race and all this type of stuff. So it's a lot of, but I mean, the technology that's going into making these cars go straight is amazing. Like the programming in their radios and ESC is utterly amazing. He was showing me all the graphs and all that type of stuff. And I never even thought of that. I'm like, it's just going straight, but it's hard to just go straight. So my point being to that is, I hope I want it to get more people into the industry and more people into the hobby. Will that generate more off-road races, on-road races? I don't know, because we both know that, like, yes, I'm not saying that what they're doing is easy, because yes, it's not, obviously not, and but off-road's really hard, man. And off-road's 3D. So, you got to think about being in the air. It's just so much variables in off-road. I hope that more people come over to it, but I think we're seeing more off-road guys doing this than more people coming over from off-road, doing that in the future. But I think this is going to grow, continue to grow, and it's going to be great because it's scale, it looks real, it's awesome, it's like money involved too. That's the big thing. People like to race for money. People like to know that they're getting some money back from what they're putting into the industry. And off-road doesn't have that. There's no money races, no real money races in off-road and stuff like that. So I think that's a big draw. And you can pretty much do it anywhere at the same time. So while you're talking shit about it, it's growing. And it's going to bring new people into RC. Whether it dies off or not, I think comes down to how detailed things get and how expensive it gets. But great question, Joe, and looking forward to your podcast this week. Connie Svensson from Sweden. Connie wants to know, what are the weirdest race formats you have tried? I know the Finns in large scale have a competition where you drive one-on-one in a ladder format, and after each win, you drink a snaps. The true drivers in the final are pretty loaded. Any other interesting format of competition? It doesn't have to be serious, quite the opposite. I guess what he's saying is like, do we have any fun races? I think we need to start a one-handed drinking a beer while you race.
I was just going to say that's the best. When we did our tour, I've done it. I mean, at the Showers track, I did it.
Yeah, and you beat me. Oh,
I did it in Dominican Republic. I've done it in South Africa.
You did it in South Africa? Yeah.
Yeah, I've done it in so many places where drive with one hand, like race a local, legitimately like race a local, but race him with one hand, and I have to finish a beer during the race.
Well, I think at Joey Showers,
actually fun.
At the Showers race, we actually threw a beer up to you because you ran out.
Yeah. It was good.
So,
and then I had to throw a whip over the jump also.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you this. You guys think we're joking, but when you came to the DR, we raced. You didn't even. Lewis and then guys prepped a Team Losi 10 scale 2-wheel drive truck for you, right? And you didn't even. I don't even think you. I think you made a run it twice, right? I can't remember. You haven't probably driven a truck in so long. You didn't do anything to it. Or I had my T5M, and these guys loved truck. They were serious about it. And we did 3 mains. And honestly, you drove that last main drinking a big beer, and I was like, what the hell? Like, I was like, yeah, this guy's not going to beat us with one hand drinking a beer. And dude, I could not catch you. And you threw whips. One-handed. It's your big hands. That's why you can do it too. You got big ass hands. So yeah, you can. I can't do it because you did it with your left hand because you need your trigger. You know what I mean? And I can't use my left hand, but it's amazing that you can drive that good. Like I think you can beat a lot of people with one arm drinking a beer. I want anybody out there that's listening to this. If you think you can beat Joseph, and they can drive normal. You know what I mean? If you think you can beat him one arm, I mean, maybe I know there's some one arm racers out there as well. But if you think you can beat Joseph next time you see him at the track and he's driving one arm with a beer, think twice about it because he's fast. He's fast. You're good at. You are talented at that. I will give you that. Jason Shorenord. Jason, please send me a voice text telling me how to say your last name. Is the JQ USA store going to get carbon fiber side guards? I think Brent said he ordered some.
Yeah, they're on the way to Brent.
Okay.
No. Or maybe he got them already. I don't know.
All right. There you go, Jason. Please send me a voice note telling me how to say your last name. Grace Aruda, a.k.a. Salty Joe, who I won't get my own Facebook profile. Can we talk about marble racing? So Salty Joe watched Joe Rogan clip, and he sent it to me, and he was amazed at that people. I don't know if you don't watch TV, but marble racing is a thing, dude. Like, it's bigger than RC. It's on ESPN. We have awesome commentating.
I know. It really pissed me off when I saw, millions of views. It's literally just some guy letting a handful of marbles roll down a track with marble spectators, and they're just rolling down this chute, right? And then someone's commentating, oh, the red marble is leading, and that's amazing. People like that. They got sponsors and shit.
It's pretty awesome, incredible. Though. The commentating is what makes it. The commentating makes it great. And then they have different games too. Not just, what are you doing? You're creating static somehow? Are you charging your phone on the computer?
No.
Okay. Stop moving. But it's big, man. I wonder if it is just one guy or if they actually have teams. Like, how do you make a marble faster? Do you buff it up or
they don't?
I don't know. But
not a real thing. It's just the video stuff.
It's bigger than RC. Great. It's bigger than RC. So
it's not bigger than RC, but it's getting more exposure.
It's getting more exposure than RC. Sorry.
I don't know about money, like maybe even money because of all the views and shit. So, like sponsors and all that stuff.
For sure, man. For sure.
Ridiculous.
It is, but
we're gonna address some of this in the rant.
Oh, we got a rant this week. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Chris Trudeau. What's up, Chris? How you doing? He wants to know, for Joseph, which is more annoying from a non-RC person? How fast does it go? How much does it cost? Or a bonus question, when driving an e-buggy, is that gas?
How fast does it go?
Mm-hmm.
That's the dummy one, because you just fucking look and you can see how fast it's going. That's how fast it goes. You just saw it. You know, like, yeah, and they can't see it in action.
You're breaking
moving
up
on the track. Then what for them? They can see it on the track. I don't get it. That's the most annoying question.
Yeah. I think I get that a lot. And then the next question after that I get is, do you win money doing this? And I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
I'm like, you make money doing this? I'm like, not really. And that's hard to explain to people, like, you know? So, yeah, there's a, how fast does it go? Oh, for fuck's sakes. Like, that's what I feel like saying sometimes. But, you know, you gotta tell them how it goes. All right. Josh Garbett of Scale Motorsports. He, doing the Blue Ridge Nationals in Summer Sizzler. We actually have some promotion for that today. You know, maybe we should play that. I don't know. Maybe we'll play it later on. Josh Garbett. This has probably been thought about, but not well executed, and really don't see it in any form of motorsport. But why would you not run your shocks upside down? To shift the weight and lower the center of gravity would be significant on scale cars, although it would also push weight further to the outside corners of the car. Is there something in today's shock designs that would prohibit them from working upside down?
The problem is that you're moving more weight because imagine you hit the bump, the wheel moves up. The whole shock body needs to move up with the arm. So that sprung versus unsprung weight changes when you do that. So I think that's the problem.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that would just that would just make the whole car feel heavy. You know what I mean? Like more roll.
No, I could imagine that it's something similar to those hub weights people use.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm sure somebody's tried it, though. I'm sure it's been tried.
Yeah, people have tried it. Testman did it in 10 scale, and some touring car drivers do it. And,
yeah. Joey Showers.
No one has stuck with it.
Yeah, Joey Showers asks about three shoe clutches versus 4 shoe clutches, but we covered that, and I let him. Jimmy let him know that. So, thanks for the question, though, Joey. Mike Anderson, what's up, Mr. Anderson? Why does every race director say they're going to dock laps or time if you don't turn marshal, yet none of them ever follow through? Great question. Have you? Yeah, but you've seen people.
Well,
get
he
docked.
must be American because in Europe they do.
Well, that's what. And then the conversation goes on. Jimmy Babcock does, and then he goes, he does, and he says that's like saying JQ is a far right Republican. Mike is a good guy, JQ driver. Have you seen that happen?
Seen what happen?
It happens. Does it? Have you been to a race where have you ever been docked a lap for missing turn marshalling?
In America, what tends to happen is the race director will say something like penalty this or that, and nothing happens. So if the driver just doesn't stop for a stop and go, doesn't wait for someone, or doesn't wait after they cut the track or whatever, then nothing will happen because the race director just moves on to the next thing and forgets about it.
Yeah, unfortunately, have you been called for ever losing a lap? Have you ever been docked a lap?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think once they start doing that, then that won't happen. It does. It is a problem. I mean, I'll be honest with you. When I was in the UK racing, if you wasn't on your cone, you got docked a lap. Like, it wasn't no joke. Like, you put your card on, you put on your vet, you went to your cone, put on your vest, and you turn marshal. It's simple as that. But all these races, man, I bet you we're going to see it here at PNB this weekend. All these races are just, that's the big hold up. Maybe they'll push a little hard. It depends too. I remember, it's just ridiculous. Like, we all know that we have to do this. It shouldn't even be an issue. Like, put your card on, give your card to your pit guy, and go right out there and marshal. It's pretty simple. If you are doing back-to-back races, have somebody out there to marshal for you. If you ain't doing it, dock these guys. Like, it's so easy to fix. You dock a few guys off their best time, you guarantee you they won't be missing it the next time. It's pretty simple. It's easy to fix. I don't know why it isn't done more. But that is one of the biggest holdups with these races sometimes, and why they get like a simple race ends up being long, like spending 5 minutes trying to call for turn marshals when that race could have been going 3 minutes in. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Wayne Stevens. Are those scales that weigh each tire and give totals for front and rear weight distribution helpful, or should it just go off physical measurements? Have you used one of those scales, Joseph?
Yeah, the scales are good, but almost everyone uses them wrong. So like, there's no point in what they're doing.
I'll explain how to use them.
You have to, if you don't, use a spirit level to make sure that they are perfectly flat, horizontal, left to right, front to back, diagonally. Just make sure all 4 scales are perfectly horizontal, then the number's going to be way different. So you have to do that every time just so you can repeat the process. And then if you want the actual weight distribution of the car itself, you can't really do it with shocks on. You would have to have equal length, rods that set the car at the right height, and then you can get the weight distribution. But maybe more. So that's like if you want to exactly know what it is, but you don't really need to know that. I think as a driver, what's interesting is you set the car up with the shocks and the springs on that system. And you can even balance it out using the spring collars, and they won't all be adjusted the same. Like left and right won't be the same. That doesn't matter. Just set your ride height and then use the scale system to set the loads equally. This is possible in 10 scale, in 8 scale Nitro, 8 scale electric too. 8 scale Nitro, because of the fuel tank, you have to sort of compromise a bit, because obviously the weight is changing in the car, front left, which affects the balance of the car. But in electric, you can actually set the car to be perfect, left to right. And then you can actually notice it on track. I've done this experiment in 10 scale. So it's not a massive difference, but it's noticeable. So do you need them? Do you need those scales? No. I think as a car designer, they are very helpful, because if you want to have some data for what you are testing in different chassis and weight distributions and all that stuff, then they're helpful. Or if you enjoy that side of the hobby, you enjoy wrenching and working on your car and figuring things out, then it's great. But you need them to improve your car or be better, faster, then don't really need them.
Interesting. I know you said something that I don't think about often, and that's when your fuel tank goes empty and the change it makes on the handling of your car, which isn't, like you said, isn't a big thing, but I'm sure it does affect something. As these cars get lighter and better, it's just like full scale racing. As your tank gets lower, your car handles different. I never even thought of that. Interesting stuff. Thank you, Wayne, for the question. So I think that should answer it. On to the IG questions. King Ing, what's up, Drew? He says, I need to know where JQ got his mirror on the wall. I need one. Mirror on the wall. Who's the biggest asshole of them all? KB Wolf 83 asks, what is the best dessert from each of your countries, and how do each of you guys prep tires?
Prep tires for what?
I guess just period. But he asked about dessert first. Let's talk about that, because that's food. What's a good Finnish dessert?
A good Finnish dessert? I don't even know.
Your favorite Finnish dessert?
I don't know what a Finnish dessert is. I guess maybe the best thing that I think actually is Finnish is this, I don't know.
Salted whale blubber meat?
But the way they are done in Finland, like cinnamon rolls, like sweet cinnamon rolls. Mm-hmm. They are really good with milk.
All right.
Or buns or whatever.
Not like putrid blubber from whale or something like that?
No.
Okay.
Wait, this isn't Iceland.
Those candies that you bought were nasty. Ugh. I mean, some were good, but then you get why is that like?
I don't know.
Like some would be good and sweet, then you get something that just tastes like absolute shit, like salty and something like tastes like if whale blubber. If I have ever tasted whale blubber, which I haven't, I think it would taste like those candies that you bought me. In Bermuda, honestly, I think my favorite dessert. I like all desserts. My favorite dessert period is chocolate cake. But two things I enjoy is Bermudian banana bread by my mom, because it's not like that banana bread you buy in the gas station. It's not yellow. My mom's banana bread is like dark brown, like because she uses like she'll just save bananas and wait till they go like really ripe, like brown, peel them and put them in the fridge, in the freezer, freeze them. So she makes it with like black, when bananas go black, like that's when they're really ripe. And man, that banana bread comes out like super moist, super dark brown on the inside, full of banana flavor, like not just a hint of banana flavor, full, like got walnuts in it. Oh man. And my mom's homemade, all of this, which I haven't had in a long time because I haven't seen my mom since 2014. Her gingerbread too. But for DR, I think they have this dessert and I hate it and it happens, they do it every Easter. It's called abatruela con dulce, and basically it's bean juice, sweet bean juice, and I think it's the grossest thing ever. It's like brawn liquid, and I just tease my wife. I say, you're gonna have diarrhea for days. Or I just, but they love it. They eat it with this, it's sweet, like eat it with these little crackers, and they just love it. But I haven't had that shit. I just can't. I don't know, just something about it. I can't bring myself to eat it. Yeah, tire prep. I don't do 10 scale. I don't even race anymore. But if he's talking about gluing up tires, for me, I like to use acetone, and honestly, it's either a microfiber rag or one of those, or a Scott towel rag or one of those blue shop towels, and just clean the bead of that tire really good, till you don't see any more. When you see black coming off, like rubber black, that's good. If it's still like that bronze shit, that solvent that they put on it, you keep cleaning till that's done. I used to sand my tires and all that stuff, but I just don't do that anymore. And I put 2 holes on the inside of the tire for myself, and just glue them up. Some people sand the rims, but I don't really go that deep. If it depends on the track too. If it's a high grip track, I might glue the inserts to the rim. So yeah, that's about all my tire prep. How about you, Joseph?
Buy pre-glued tires.
That's probably the easiest thing. They come unglued too.
Yeah. Which ones come unglued?
Pre-glued ones.
Yeah, which brand?
Well, Proline has come unglued.
You know what?
What?
In RCGP, first race had HB pre-glued, then T-Pro pre-glued, then Proline pre-glued. HB was the best.
Oh, yeah?
Least issues, yeah. They stayed on. T-Pro, some came off like real bad. Proline, some came off. But the Proline, I don't know if it was really a big issue or not. I know that there was some, like, I don't know why Daniel was there gluing so many tires. So
I think they were having issues.
And then he had to glue a whole bunch and then not use the ones that they got or something. There was something going on there. I just remember that the HB ones were the best. They were good.
Yeah.
They stayed on.
I had some people ask about that going into the race. So I did see it happen at RCGP, but Proline made it good. So Yeah, buy pre-glued ones too. That makes sense. It makes life a lot easier. So, good stuff. Next question from IG. Let's get through these. Oh, hold on. Lost it. Deca Nordic. I don't know this. Do you know this guy, Joseph? Deca Nordic on Instagram.
Yeah.
Is he from Finland?
Sweden.
Deca Nordic. Talk us through droop, down travel, the finer points of adjusting it on the black edition, grinding the arms, etc.
Okay, so on the front, we just cut the chassis tabs off completely. Don't need those.
That's the
Throw them
Ghani
in the
style.
trash. Yeah, so cut the front chassis tabs off completely. Done. You're done. And then just make sure both shocks are the same length, and that's your droop.
By putting
So
limiters,
run,
by putting
105.
limiters under the piston, right?
No, you don't need to limit anything. Just max. And then on the rear, no modifications needed. Just run like 122 shock length. It's pretty good, everyone.
Okay, so just for my clarification, when you cut the front chassis tabs off, you'll just address shock length with the eyelet, correct?
Yeah, but you don't really need to adjust it. You just run maximum.
Yeah, but here's my issue with that, is that that's a lot of strain on the shock eyelet.
Hasn't been a problem.
Okay. So what if you want less droop? You just screw it up some more? What if you want less droop than what you can get?
Yeah, you don't want less droop.
Okay. So that's the finer points of droop setting now, is we're just, Dagani figured that out and you just going with it now, cutting it off.
Yeah, it's good.
All right. Dagani did that, like, when did he do that? At PNB last year, I believe. Or was it before that? Yes, he just said, I'm not using droop tabs. Screw that.
I don't think it was PNB. I was there when he first did it.
That might have been DNC then. It had to be DNC. All right. Enrico Maloney. What about tuning with springs front to rear, so stiffer rear or vice versa? For example, when running the Mugen springs on the JQ, what going to 9.25 instead of 9.0 on the front will feel and drive?
Honestly, the difference between 9.0 and 9.25 was minimal. Even when measuring them, like on the spring gauge thing.
Okay.
But I mean, a softer spring will just it's going to be a really small difference, honestly, with those two springs. Generally, a softer spring could add a bit of mid-corner steering, especially on loose tracks. Maybe the car isn't as precise and responsive anymore. And yeah, that's about it. Just feels like a softer drive around the track.
Cool. Thank you, Enrico, for the question. Getting back to racing there in Italy. Drake Wright 28. How does JQ set up his gear ratios? Also, my dad and I have listened to all of your podcasts. Well, thank you. I appreciate you listen to 81 episodes of me mumbling and bumbling. I appreciate that. Thank you for the support. And JQ being JQ. There you go, JQ. Answer the question.
Gear ratios. So we have two different gear sets in the gearbox, 4313 or 4514. I wrote a good extensive blog about the difference. If you search the Quay grain in Google, the blog comes up, or if you search the Quay grain and gear ratio, the blog will come up. Basically, 4313 will be more punchy, more aggressive, more acceleration. When you drive around the track, you need to use more throttle. So even though it has more acceleration, you also need to pull the trigger more to drive fast around the track, because off power, it has a bit more drag brake. It doesn't roll quite as much. So it doesn't maintain as much speed with no throttle or minimal throttle. So you have to be more on the gas. Then 4514 is what I use. It smooths out your acceleration, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's slower. It just means you have less wheel spin. It's not quite as punchy. So it's smooth acceleration. You can still accelerate fast, no problem. When you drive around the track, you do so with less throttle. You can just barely be on the throttle and the car maintains good speed because it rolls more, easier, less sort of drag brake feel, and just a bit of throttle will move the car faster. So that's that difference. And then I like to use big main gear. So when you use a big main gear on the center diff, it smooths out the power delivery of the car. It changes the power band of the engine, and I just like the feel of that. So I tend to run 4514 in my gearboxes and 4913 center diff clutch bell. If the track is big, maybe I go to a 48 main gear, but not necessarily. So yeah, that's what I run.
Awesome. Great explanation. Thank you to everybody that sent us questions for the bench racing Q&A. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you to Beach RC for sponsoring this part of the podcast. Remember, guys, if you can, go to our affiliate link and show Beach RC some love. Pick yourself up some NNRC swag and let us know if you do. All right, Joseph, I'm going to call you back. We're going to the main interview brought to you by Tekno RC. Thank you, Tekno RC, for the support of this next part of the podcast. And Joseph, I will call you back for story time and the rant. Thank you for your time.
Tekno RC. Tekno RC. Tekno RC is a premium manufacturer specializing in 8th and 10th scale high-performance off-road RC buggies and trucks. Visit www.teknorc.com for a complete catalog of their products. Tekno RC. Excellence in engineering. Hashtag Tekno Takeover.
Joining us this week on episode number 82, brought to you by Tekno RC, by the way. Thank you, Tekno, for bringing us the main interview, is a gentleman I have been familiar with for a couple of years. I did actually meet him a couple of years ago, not physically, but via Facebook. I really thought he had a cool name for his race team. And they've been doing some big things over there on the East Coast, mostly in the Virginia, Carolina areas, I believe even somewhat more northeast. But I'd like to welcome Mr. Rob Issac of Fanwolf Racing, USRC, and FX Nitro. What's up, Rob? How are you?
Hey, Keenan, it's nice to join you. It's been a long time, man.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. And we talked to each other a couple of weeks ago, and then you was telling me about this race that you just had this week, and I was like, well, let's bring you on after that race. So perfect timing. How was your week? Well, let's just talk about that real quick. You had Ryan Lutz, you had the USRC race at Adrenaline. Thank you, Adrenaline News. They always share my podcast. I appreciate that. And you had a TV crew there you talk about it, man. It's your show. You go ahead.
Well, so Seth Hardison approached me and asked if we wanted to do a shoot with Motor Week, which is a automotive, kind of a trending automotive show. So I thought, well, yeah, I mean, that'd be great. So the film crew came in, a journalist and a cameraman. So I thought, well, it'd be a good time for me to reach out to a pro that could represent, the show. I didn't want to be the face of RC, so to speak. I wanted somebody with some prominence and notoriety. So I reached out to Billy Tylaska and asked if Lutz would be interested in coming out. He just told me, hey, hit Ryan up and see how he feels about it. With the COVID-19 issues, it might be kind of a concern, but we talked and he agreed to come in and kind of be the host of the event. So it worked out real well. He came out, and it was just a great event all the way around. We really did a lot to make sure the track looked great. Tons and tons of banners, tents, and we tried to make a small race feel like a very big event. That's part of the what we do at USRC. We want to create that big race atmosphere at a small event.
It was really good to see Ryan come back out and race. He's been relatively quiet with COVID. I know, I was wondering when he was going to, because usually, Lutz is very, very active on social media, and he wasn't too very active during the whole shutdown. And I understand that, but it's really good to see him racing. I know I really enjoy, I like Ryan Lutz a lot. I spent DNC like the entire Friday and Thursday of DNC just sitting off talking with him, because Billy was kind enough to let me set up my podcast and that one in the Nemo tent. And really great dude. We got talking about everything. And I want him to do really well at the upcoming PNB. So maybe this is a great confidence booster for him, and to get him out and get him started, get him ready. So good stuff, man.
Yeah.
So let's talk about you. You're Rob Issac. I don't really know that much about you, but why don't you tell the NNRC listeners about yourself and how Famed Wolf started?
So 3 years ago, I moved to this area. My father had passed away, and I decided to come up here to be a little closer to my brother. Never really interacted much with his children, and I have kids relatively the same age. So me and my family moved here to kind of be closer and to kind of get over the death of my dad. And it just so happened there's an RC track not even a mile from my house. I happened to stop in one day, and it was, really nice setup. And I watched one of the races, and I raced, 15 or 20 years ago, maybe a little bit longer actually. And I kind of got that bug again. So I showed up, I went out and bought a kit, put it together. One battery, one kit, one set of tires, went out and just got in everybody's way, and but had fun doing it. And I thought, this is pretty cool. So I just kept going back. About 2 or 3 months into it, I realized that I really like it. I was getting a little bit better, at driving, and I felt comfortable, but I didn't want to do it alone. I didn't know anybody. I was kind of the odd man out, so to speak. So my wife's a graphic designer. She said, hey, why don't you and your brother do it together? So he bought a kit. I built it for him, set it up, and just took what the guy showed me from the track and applied it to his car. And she designed these shirts. We started wearing the shirts, and then the rest is kind of history. We wore the shirts every week, and then one guy would ask, hey, what's Famed Wolf Racing all about? And I said, no, nothing in particular. It's just a shirt. Me and my brother just trying to bond together and get through a tough time. And it turned into Famed Wolf Racing. One guy led to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 40, 40 to 60. We've had nearly 100 guys at our peak in 2018. And
that's awesome.
And then I just try to expand it. And our mission statement was to make RC affordable for our team guys and to kind of grow together. So we worked some deals with some of the manufacturers to make it where we can all afford it. And that's kind of the route we took. So now we have roughly 56 members currently, and deals with AKA, Phantom Racing. I sponsor the team because I'm a Mugen dealer, so I give my guys the Mugen product at cost. Maxi Velasco was kind enough to bring us on with RC1.
Okay.
So we're kind of in there with RC1 and Pico America. So it's all come together pretty good. The team's still growing. We just recently brought on Ryan Schaefer as team manager. I stepped down, and Gabriel Galliano, so we can concentrate on USRC. But all in all, it's still a work in progress, but this is our third official season, and we have a lot more to do, but we're getting there.
Sweet. I really like your logo. Where did that come from? It looks Native American. Where does Famed Wolf stem from? Like, it has to mean something to you to put it on there. So where did that come from?
So my mother was full-blood Native American, and my wife was kind of looking up lineage names based on my father's name, and it just so happened to be Famed Wolf. So we thought, well, that's, it's a pretty cool name. It's kind of odd. So she just incorporated the wolf into it, and we've all just went by that name. It was so odd, and the shirt, I wanted something kind of pronounced. It's sort of like, Cobra Kai, Karate Kid. Everybody remembers the Cobra.
Yeah, that was fun.
You can't forget it, right? So for 30 years, I still remember those shirts, and I think that this shirt has kind of been that Cobra Kai of Region 2. It's, you take one look at it, you kind of remember it, And the logo being on the front is so different from any other RC team. Everybody else wears their sponsors up front.
Mm-hmm.
We're the opposite. We sponsors on the back and my logo on the front. Team guys, sponsored guys, we honor the manufacturer's wishes, and we do put their sponsors on the front, but the team logo on the back, just out of respect for the manufacturers that they represent.
Yeah, that's a very cool logo. Believe it or not, I'm supposedly of Native American heritage too. The Pequods came over to my home country of Bermuda, just a small island in the Atlantic, as indentured servants, and they settled on like where I'm from in Bermuda. It's a small island, but where I'm from it's a smaller island. It's not all connected, but it wasn't back in the day. So they settled there, and apparently, like I don't know, but we all come from some sort of lineage and that part of the island. We come from that lineage. We have powwows and stuff. We just started doing powwows, so yeah, it's cool stuff. I really dig the Native American heritage, and I respect it a lot. Did a lot of studying on it in my life, and yeah, I love it. So I really like the logo, man. Good stuff.
Thank you.
So I like this whole team aspect. You got, like, it's a team, but everybody runs whatever they want, but you're part of this group. What is actual Region 2 of Raw you're talking about, correct?
Well, I changed the region up so much. So majority of our guys are from PA and Maryland and Northern Virginia. So we kind of, I don't go by Roar guidelines. That region's a little too vast and kind of out of my territory. But
yeah.
So we concentrate from PA, West Virginia, Maryland, and Virginia. We're branching down. We got a guy and a team manager out in Wisconsin, so we're trying to get out in that area too. It's just been slow going, and their racing is so seasonal. With just the winter for the most part, and very limited Nitro or A scale. It's been really hard to get out there. But yeah, we that's our four major states that we kind of focus on with our racing and our guys.
Yeah, I think the guys in Wisconsin actually race a lot in Minnesota too. We do have a driver out there named Wayne. I haven't spoken to him for a while. He used to come PNB. He used to drive from Wisconsin to PNB every year. So yeah, man, I really dig that. I like that. What do you guys do for the young racers? Because before we came on there, I was just telling you we had Brandon Schimmel. He's one of your racers, I believe, and it was good to have those young guys on. They were talking smack, talking about what they think about RC, and what do you guys do to help motivate these young racers? Because you and I believe that the youth are the future, and we need to teach these young guys and keep RC cool and make it awesome for them, and show that maybe they may not make a living in it, but you can also meet a lot of people that share what you like, and knowing people is one of the biggest things in the world. So what do you guys do to promote the youth and help them along?
Well, that's still, that's the one thing that I'm lacking is so the team evolved so quickly. Every idea and every game plan I had kind of got sidelined because I originally had plans on just having kids, and kind of work with them on the one-on-one. This thing has turned into almost a business, so it's been very difficult to kind of stick with that game plan. So we bring the kids on, and I just try to create a kind of a cohesive atmosphere where they feel welcome. It's not about winning with us, it's just about camaraderie, team atmosphere. I definitely want to try to work more on the one-on-one level with these guys, but everybody's so spread out. So it's, to get track days in with the kids, it's very difficult. But on race days, we try to bring as many of the kids together, and I make sure that they're well taken care for. I mean, we have deals where we can make it affordable. These guys aren't having to run the same tires race after race. No need to worry about having a third generation hand-me-down kit. They have all the resources, and there's people at the tracks. We've been so involved with these tracks that there's all kinds of help. Yeah, and I don't know everything. I'm 45 years old. I'm not going to get any faster than I am now. I'm not going to show our kids how to drive any faster than they are. Majority of them are already faster than me. So that's an area of the team that we are going to have to work on. And that's something that I've tasked Ryan Schaefer with, is to make sure that we make a bigger impact on growing these drivers and teaching them, because there's a lot to it. It's not just show up, plug a battery in and go. And the thing, like you said, we're trying to compete with girls, trying to compete with video gaming. Kids get first a driver's license. So there's a lot of distractions that they find when they hit that age. And that's about the prime. I think 16 to 17 years old is really the prime. It's when these kids seem to really develop that speed. Brennan is a prime example of what I've watched Brennan since he was little, and Jacob Hardison as well. These kids, they come on, it seems, when that maturity level starts to really settle slightly, they really come on, and we got to keep them there. And that's, with gaming, this new RC gaming thing is just taken off. I know people that don't even race anymore because they're RC gaming online. So they don't even bother showing up to the track anymore, and it's a shame. I'm totally counter that. I just don't see a point. If you want to play RC video game, why not show up to the track and do the real thing with your teammates and friends? And if you don't have any, make some. So I don't get the gaming aspect, but that's kind of where we're at, competing to try to keep the kids motivated and interested. And it's a challenge, man, to say the least. It's really been a challenge.
I mean, I love gaming too, but if I lived in an area where there was, people, I think a lot of times, I tell people all the time, you're very fortunate to have these awesome tracks and facilities around you. And I know some places don't have as many tracks as others, but I tell people, man, I came from a country in Bermuda. We had one track. We still only have one track. Even here in the DR where I live now, we're just getting a track back. So it's definitely fortunate. And something else you touched on was making people feel welcome. I touched on this quite a few times because I think as RC people, we get so stuck in our bubble that we get introverted and we don't want to introduce not everybody, but we can be very intimidating to new people coming into this hobby / sport, and we need to be and that can turn people off. So we need to be more open and be more welcoming, you know what I mean, to people.
Right.
So what's up? And that goes for them as well. They should, it goes both ways, but I like that team, welcome everybody. Hey, what's up? And help them out. And hopefully they stay in RC. I love that factor of what you just said as well.
Yeah.
And,
so we try to, so that's what I'm good at. So when I see a young kid come that's new to the track, if he shows up more than twice, then I approach him, introduce myself, and offer, any assistance, any help. I always bring tons and tons of tires. I always bring a spare kit. So I have several cars that are set up ready to go. So if anybody who's new wants to try to go out there and wheel a little bit, I always have a car ready as a backup. So that was always my way to approach new people. And if their dad's there, I just signed a kid who I think is going to be very good. And his father comes, and his dad started racing with us, and they've been like a father-son duo. And it's nice to have people like that on the team. They work good together, and I see progress every time they show up to the track. And you're right. It is a very difficult click sometimes. We're all cliquey. We have our circles that we stick tight with, and it's very difficult sometimes to approach 4 or 5 guys when you know your lap traffic and you're just getting started. It's hard to really break through and say, hey, I'm so and so, and I'd really like to know more about what it is you guys are running, because I was that guy. I came in being kind of an old timer, walking into a sport with a bunch of fast kids in a premier facility. I mean, Adrenaline RC is one of the nicest tracks on the East Coast, if not the nicest track on the East Coast. And there were some fast guys there. I mean, it was really intimidating when I came in, and I was the odd guy out. I think that's probably what kind of spun me into creating a team around myself. That way I wasn't the odd guy, So you kind of nailed something with me, that we need to be more open and more welcoming. I had somebody tell me something about PNB that kind of struck me. I've been a little intimidated about going to PNB every year. I've never been. I always choke at the last minute and just say, you know what, I'm just not ready. I have high anxiety anyway. I'm the most anxious person and hyperactive person, and I don't sleep very much, so that probably excites a lot of that. But I talked myself out of that intimidation factor. At the Nats, the same thing. Some of those guys were welcoming and open-minded, but you can just tell that there's a barrier between certain factions of drivers, and you're not going to counter that barrier. It's when people are in race mode and they're there to win and there to perform. It's very hard to give one side of yourself to the general public and newcomers. And the problem that I have is that every track that I've raced at here this year, it's so competitive. We're so competitive that I think sometimes we kind of lose our vision for what we want to do, because we're out to win, out to get better. And we lose sight of the big picture, and that is, hey, there might be the guy next to you who's running swelling battery packs or bald tires, or there's got to be a way we can help and grow the hobby. Because I mean, it's definitely shrinking. It's a shame when the over 40 class is the largest class. I mean, it's something's wrong with that picture,
Yeah, a lot of people argue and say, "Oh, but this race we had 250 entries and this," and I agree with you. I think it is shrinking, unfortunately. I honestly, when somebody says entry count, I'm like, yeah, okay, well, how many people were there? Yes, I think things can be better. We just need to attack this. I say this all the time. We need to attack getting new people and promoting RC in all forms. I'm not against any type of form of promoting what we do. Anything that can be done to promote what we're doing, we need to do it. And I agree, man. And you should go to PNB though. You should go, or go to Wicked Weekend on one of these races. Wicked Weekends, I've never been, but I might go this year. It's a little bit more relaxed. It's open. It's a great race, and there's tons of people that will help people out, and these pro guys, you just gotta kind of. I used to be intimidated by them too, right? But you just got to kind of pick your time when you go ask them something. You don't want to go talk to them right after they just had a crappy run. Maybe wait, let them calm down, or when they're thrashing on their cars or something. So it's all good, man. But you should go to one of these big races. It'd be great. It'd be awesome.
Yeah. Well, I'm on the fence with it. There's a great local race at R2HQ, which is formerly G's Raceway. He's having a really cool night race, and I'm kind of on the fence on which way to go. I got team guys going to PNB. I've got a slew of team guys going to R2HQ. So it's going to be a great weekend of racing, no matter which direction I go. So it is what it is. I do this for fun. I take it entirely too seriously, I think, sometimes. Everybody
does. You're not alone.
Yeah. It's very tough not to. I mean, I'm a live wire. Anybody who's raced with me knows that off the track, I'm probably one of the nicest people you ever want to meet. On the track, it's a different story. I automatically change into full blown, just race mode. I don't want to lose. I seldom win. but I don't want to lose, and I'm guilty. You know, I'll be the first one to tell you on the track. I'll give you hell. I won't give you an inch, but it's kind of my stick. You know, I'm known for that. It's been that way since I started racing.
Well, I mean, you can't be punk on the track either. I think we all suffer from that, man. I don't race anymore, unfortunately. I think the last time I actually raced at a big race was AMS 2018, and I didn't even get upset. I was just happy to be racing. But it's all right, man. I mean, we're racing, we're men, and we're competitive. We would if it was snails racing, we'd be there like cheering on which snail is faster and betting money or something on it. So,
exactly.
So, go ahead.
Racing to me, I try to have fun with it. There's nothing I find more fun than hanging out with my guys, drinking beer, watching the races. I enjoy the mains. You know, it's just I had the best time watching Lutz and Hardison battle it out. That whole weekend was just great. It was the most fun I've had at a race in a long, long time, and I just want to kind of create that atmosphere for my own selfish reasons. You know, I started USRC for very selfish reasons. I don't go to the big races, but I said, you know, I have all the equipment that, you know, I used to DJ weddings, and I have a live music background, so I have a lot of PA gear. So I play the music and crank it. I pick the set list of what I'm going to listen to. I play the music I enjoy, and believe me, we crank it. We kind of create the big race, you know, feel at a small event, and I do it for myself, because to me it's the environment I feel comfortable in. You know, it takes me back to the days of rocking. You know, just having a great time. And
so, what is USRC exactly?
I didn't copy that. What was that?
What is USRC exactly?
Well, we're a race series. We're kind of evolving. We started out as the typical traveling race series. We wanted to stick between Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Virginia. We never expected to travel any further than that. We started out with 10 scale. It had a really good winter, some really successful races. Lots of guys came out, lots of fast guys came out, really put on some good shows. And so we said, you know, let's carry this into our 8 scale racing, and we did. And we started racing indoor 8 scale through the winter between Mimi's, the track of Gaithersburg, and Adrenaline. And it evolved from there. We said, you know, we'll carry it into a outdoor season. So we're going to grow it. We're starting to gain traction. I think word is spreading. I think the atmosphere is a big part of it. We try to make it fun. We try to run it at a pace that's doable, so guys have time to actually work on their cars and get enough track time to where it's a one-day event. We don't want to, you know, drag out a 15-hour day, but we get through the days. We have a great race director who's come out to all the events so far, and he knows our system. And that's Garland Smith Jr., the track owner of R2HQ and the Aurora Region 2 director. He also directs USRC for us. And he does a fantastic job. I think he's the best in the business. I mean, from every race he does, he's entertaining, he's funny, he keeps the program moving, interacts with the drivers on the stand, marshals on the track. He just makes a show of it. You know, it's really a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Do you guys do any special format, or is it just like IFMAR style qualifying and racing?
So we've tried several formats. Now we're just going with the heads up style format throughout the day, and it seems to keep the program moving and kind of creates that you know, all or nothing kind of atmosphere. You know, heads up racing is fun. I like traditional qualifying, but I found that to keep the excitement level for the spectator, that the heads up racing is where it's at.
So you do, how many qualifiers do you do on your 1 day race? So heads up qualifiers,
So,
how long? 5 minutes?
yep. So depending on, we adjust it depending upon the turnout. Typically we go 3 6-minute quals, all heads up, 8-minute truggy, and 10-minute e-buggy. We have had to shorten the program because of the turnout, because it was just going to take too long. But we never cut it, too much. We just try to stick with a minimum, 2 quals. But we like to run 3. We ran 3 with Lutz, and we ran a little bit long. I tried to adhere to the schedule that he gave me. He wanted to try to get wrapped up, by 6 because he had a long drive home, and we went way longer than that. It was a long day.
So how about the mains? How long are your Nitro mains? And your e-buggy mains, e-truggy mains?
So we're trying to run 10 and 10 on the E side, and 30-minute Nitro mains, and 15-minute lower mains.
Buggy and truggy, or just single?
Well, we went 8-minute truggy, but like I said, depending upon the program size, we'll go 10-minute with a truggy as well.
But it's just one main, or is it double? Or
no, just one single main.
Okay, all right. Well, that's still a good. If you get 3 qualifiers, 3 6-minute qualifiers in, all heads up, a 30-minute Nitro main, and most people are going to be running e-buggy or e-truggy anyway. So that's a good day of racing.
It is, and it's a long day. It's a really long day. I think next year we're gonna expand. We're gonna do some 2-day races, and probably not do so many traveling dates. Concentrate on a big race and promote a little bit heavier. Give ourselves some time in between, because it's been really taxing on me and Gabe to do all this traveling, and it's been a lot of fun. We went to some really outstanding tracks. Silver Creek is a relatively new track, and it
looks good too. Looks really good.
Yeah, absolutely. He manicures that like a golf course. I mean, it's like, it's crazy. Really fun place. City View, another new track that just hit the scene. A lot of fun, big jumps. It's out in the mountains. I guess you would call that the Blue Ridge Valley, out there in the Blue Ridge Mountains, and really cool track. Brand new. He's got a really cool 10 scale track as well that looked really appealing. So
it's in Virginia.
It's in Virginia, yes.
Okay.
And he really did it up. I mean, he's got a really cool stand, kind of like a condo style scoring house booth. And the track is a good size. I mean, I'm really impressed with all the work he's put in a short amount of time. And he did it, relatively by himself, I think. Have that big of a facility, really cool.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go check it out. So how many races is it? I know, kind of COVID's messed up everything, but how many races are planned for this year?
So we originally wanted to do, I think we had 9 scheduled races, and we've had to cut some. We just lost a race at WCRC because of the recent backtracking on the codes, the ordinance, or whatever that they're doing with COVID-19. They went back down to a 25-person cap, so we had to change the date. So we have upcoming race, August 15th, is going to be at G's Raceway, R2HQ. August 29th, we're going to Sumter, South Carolina.
Another great track.
Yeah, really, really awesome. Looking forward to that. September 19th, we're going out right back to Sumter with Effects of Nitro. So looking forward to that. And there's some weekends that we will fill between then and now. I think August 8th at Adrenaline RC is a tentative date for Effects of Nitro, so we should be there. And something else will probably pop up in between then and now. But we're going to support the Tilt Yard and the Tilted Worlds, Fame Wolf Racing and USRC, August 1st and 2nd. We made that decision this morning.
That's awesome.
yeah, it's going to be a really cool race. We're really looking forward to that as well.
You know, I've not known him, but I would say I've known Homer for 20 years, man. Back from the old starting grid days. I even have a Losi Triple XNT that I bought from his B-Main Racing hobby shop way back in like 1999. I have it here and have tires, everything that I bought from him. And back then, I always admired his tracks. Yeah. And I've been watching him build the recent one, and it's just one of those, it's a bucket list track that I've always wanted to go to. And hopefully one day I'll get there. But yeah, it looks really badass. And he's done something different. And I can't wait to see some cars going around it. And man, people just like to go there. And I'm glad you guys are going by there. And it's going to be, you know, he's just been in this for a long time. And he was doing 3D type tracks before they were even popular. So it's good to go there. And how many classes do you run in USRC?
So we typically run sportsman, 4-wheel drive short course. We try to run an intermediate open class e-buggy, and we want to try to run an expert. But like I said, it's track by track. We pretty much know where the turnouts are going to be between the tracks, and we pretty much know the classes that we run. We take a lot of input from the track directors in their areas, and we ask them what they feel is going to be the best. URC is kind of unique because you only have to finish in the top 5 to qualify for the final event. So we're really not a series at all. We're just a series of races. But if you finish in the top 5 A main, you don't have to attend another USRC race to qualify for the final race. You're already qualified.
Yeah, that's cool. So the finals will be where?
R2HQ.
Yeah, you know, that's another great track. I've seen some videos of G's, and I always admired that track as well. You guys have got great tracks up there, man.
Yeah, weather, it's fantastic. Yeah,
weather is your issue. That's the problem.
Yes, weather's been a really big problem. Last year, we got a little bit of racing in, but yeah, the weather it's always a problem for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, I like that. Just, you know, the whole East Coast is full of series, but I haven't really heard much in your area. So I like how you've just kept it to PA, Maryland, Virginia, and you skirt down to South Carolina. I think did you go to Wilkesboro at one point too?
We were supposed to be in Wilkesboro August 1st, but
okay,
that's the one that shut me down because of the 25-person cap.
Oh, right. That's a track I've always wanted to go to, like old school off-road track. So yeah, man, you guys definitely travel quite a bit. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, we're going to do a lot more. I mean, we're going up to the barn with Rohan Grant, so that's coming. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of traveling here. We're hoping to get it all in, but you know, between now and November, I want to try to cut this off. Mm-hmm. November 10th. I don't really want to do much after that because I want. It's kind of an important time for the country with the general election coming, and we just kind of want to let people prepare for that and kind of get ready. COVID is also, starting to expand again and create a lot of problems throughout the country. So we kind of have to be mindful. But we're going to race all the way into November, and as many dates as we can book between then and now, between both of my programs, I'm hoping we can get some really good races in.
Sweet. So at these USRC races, you got all your DJ gear and you're blasting music, and it's a party. How about food and all that stuff? Is that provided by the local?
Yep. So the food trucks in our area are hardcore. You have to have like a 40 to 50 plate minimum. We haven't found any food trucks that are willing to gamble and come out to an RC race. Adrenaline had one that came out a few times, and we didn't meet the quota of sales. So it just never really has been profitable, but I did apply for my food prep license. Okay. And I love to cook.
You're going to be busy.
So I'm going to start cooking. Yeah.
Like, no wonder you don't go sleep. Like, now you're going to start cooking food, and
Yeah.
You don't stay still, do you?
No, I don't, and that's probably
That's
why
right.
I look like I'm 60 years old, and I'm.
Oh, you actually look. I didn't know you was 45 years old. I thought we was about. Well, I'm 40. I go 42 in a couple of weeks, so not too much older than me. But I got a lot more gray hair than you. But that's what happens when you work with JQ. So
Yeah, there you go.
yeah, pretty good, pretty cool. All right, so you also have USRC. Sounds pretty awesome. I really had. I kind of have been following it, but I haven't I didn't really know too much about it. So now I do, and I think it's an awesome concept.
Well,
Now you have
keep this in mind, Keenan. The goal
Excuse
for
me?
USRC is we want to become larger than life. We want to do what nobody else has done. We want to bring major races to every local track on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
That's the goal. We don't want to go rent arenas, and we don't want to go rent major facilities. We want to support the local tracks, and we want to support the local track owners and the hobby shops that may or may not be on the property. That's the goal, and that's the mission statement. We want to grow, and USRC is the best way I know how to help grow the sport. So that's been the mission statement since it started. It's United States radio control. It is what it is. We're going to keep growing, and we're going to try to blow this up to the biggest hobby on the planet. And I won't stop, until we reach the goal.
Well, you know what, man? I am all let's do it, because anything, like I said, I love RC. That's why I do this podcast. It hopefully connects something and helps make what we do a little bit more cooler, because I think what we do is cool as shit. And
Me too.
I just can't fathom how other people don't. I mean, yes, everybody thinks that their sport or their hobby is the best. So, but yeah, you had a. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with the video that they got from this week at Adrenaline, and what was it again? It was a camera guy and a journalist.
Yep, they had a journalist and his cameraman, which is from what they explained to me is pretty typical of the shoots the field reporting that they do when they travel about. They said they shoot a lot of video, a tremendous amount of video, and they spend a lot of time in the editing to try to. And what they do is they usually give a segment. The average is like 4 to 12 minutes for a 52-minute aired taping. So we're hoping that we can meet 15 minutes worth of that segment, because I think we can convey a pretty big message to their viewers about what we do. They were so excited about coming. Greg is the journalist. He's a really great guy. He wanted to wheel a Nitro around. So Gabriel Galliano, my partner in USRC, he set up his car and they put a GoPro on it and they let this guy wheel around. And I'll tell you, he got around the track pretty good for a guy who's never driven a Nitro car.
Really?
Yeah. And they GoPro'd it, and it was really cool. And they were so excited. And the cameraman told me, we were doing our interviews with him, and he said, so this is similar, the way you guys qualify is like similar to real automotive racing. I said, absolutely. He goes, I find this more exciting. I dig this more. And the journalist was scheduled from like 12 to 4. He said he may stay till 5 and shoot. He stayed all night.
Really?
Had a beer with us, hung out, watched the mains, and took pictures after the awards. And he was just, he seemed like he really enjoyed it, So that meant a lot to me. And I think that's kind of part of it. You see new people come out and they don't leave. They stay around, they stick around, they hang out. So, the interest is there. And
once you hook them, that's it, man. We just got to reel them in.
Got to reel them in, yeah.
And they get it. We ain't putting the bait out there, Rob. We ain't doing it. We need to do more. That will air in the fall, you said, right?
Yeah, they said the taping probably most likely the fall, late fall. So we're going to keep our ears tuned. And I'll be in contact with the journalist Greg from Motor Week, and he's going to kind of keep me in the loop. And I told him, I invited him out to some of the other events, and if he wanted to shoot more video, I'd love to have him out. I even offered to pay him if he wanted to come out. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. And the other cool thing is they're going to share all the raw footage with us.
Mm-hmm.
So once they edit it and take their portions, they're going to give us all of the raw data. That way we can chop it up ourselves and edit it and make a promo video for USRC.
Yes.
So that was a big part of why I was so excited when they said that they were willing to do that. That is really cool. Because it's very expensive to get a videographer out who knows what they're doing with different camera angles and shots and the experience to get the good shot. So that's just another feather in the cap.
Yeah, man. I was when you told me that, I was like, yeah, that was a good move, very good move. Getting the raw footage and just do something cool, man, catchy. Catch somebody's eye, and you never know where it can lead. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. All right. So not only do you have you're busy with Fame Wolf, you're busy with everything else. You're going to cook and you're doing all this type of stuff, but you also have, I believe it's another series going as well, FX of Nitro.
FX of Nitro is my wife's program. So it's just a series of one-off races, one-day events. It's a different format. It's a moto style format. She liked the motocross aspect of the sport with Nitro. It was a lot less boring than watching e-buggies wheel around. So me and her need to spend time together. We need to do something together because I spend so much time involved in RC and at work and so many other things that I have going on. And so this is a way for me and her to do things together and spend time together, because my kids go to every race with me and my daughters. There's seldomly will you see me without one of my kids with me. So I get the quality time with them, but I don't always get it with my wife. So she said, hey, why don't I start a race program and you help me, teach me, and get me more involved. And so I said, sure. So we designed a cool logo together, picked a really cool color. I like Kawasaki, so we went with a very similar Kawasaki green logo, and I launched it with her. And our first event was at G's, R2HQ, and her very first outing outperformed any entry count that I've ever had with USRC in her very first race. And I was really, really proud of her, and we learned a lot from that event. It was a very long day. It was a 15-hour race day. So, but drivers got more track time than, it was like more than any race that I've ever been to. I've never been on the track that much in my life. More than I want it to be honest with you. So it's a new format.
So just Nitro buggy, right?
No, we run E as well, but our main focus is the Nitro classes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a tough program because it's kind of evolving. We kind of tested. We've had 3 races, and we kind of tested which format works the best. But we want to run tentatively 2 4-minute seating rounds and 3 moto rounds. The moto rounds will be 5 to 6 minutes, all heads up, and we want to use the third qualifier as a semi qual, and for the guys who don't make the finals, that the third semi qual will be their final race. And it's very similar to Supercross. If you don't make the show, you don't make the show, but you've been on the track. You spent a tremendous time on the track, so it's really fair-minded, and we are awarding, at her race we awarded all the lower tier guys. So which would be, we don't run mains, so there are no mains, but in the semi-qual, which would have been the B main, we did award those guys. And it's all bracket racing. We don't do resorts. We do per moto resort in the position that you finish. So you stay. The reason I designed it that way is because I don't believe in main shaming, and unfortunately, it's a thing that happens. A lot of guys tell me, I'm not going to a big race because I'm not going to pay $100 to enter one class and finish in the Z main. But if you look, I spent a lot of time studying lap times and finishes of all mains. And if you look at a group of the D main at any major race, the guys are within 0.2 of a second of each other. There's no blowouts. I mean, there's very few. You might have a sandbagger that has that's been walking his way up through the lower mains, and he might be the breakout guy, but that's, even that's kind of rare. So why should you feel bad that you ran in a D main with a group of guys who are only separated from you by 0.2 of a second or even less? Why would you feel main shamed in that? Because you just stood on a driver's stand with 10 guys who are your equal. What's to feel bad about? I mean, those guys are as good as you, if not faster. They spend the same amount of money, probably put the same amount of time. They just don't have the hand-to-eye coordination or the amount of time to invest in getting to the C main level or B main or A. So there should be no main shaming. You shouldn't feel bad about racing with a group of guys that are your peers and your equals. So effects of Nitro, we don't have any mains. You race with a group of guys who you're going to race with 3 times, and there are bumps. You can bump out of that semi-qual into the final, but there's no reason to feel bad, man. You're racing with guys who are just as fast as you. There should be nothing wrong with that. And if you don't make the finals, so what? You just spent an entire day on the track, and everybody I talked to said, man, I've never had this much time on the track. This is really cool. And I think they understood that they still had in their mindset that third race is their main, and they're okay with that. But when you look at a sheet, you don't see A, B, C, D, E, F, G mains. You don't associate yourself with, oh, I'm a slow guy, I suck, or I can't, I can't get any faster. That's BS, because who's to say you won't get any faster, but who's to say you will? But who's to say that the guys standing to the left and the right of you are going to stay right with you? You're going to, I've been racing with the same group of guys for a couple of years, and we're all very equal. I race with the same 5 guys, and we're all equal. We're learning together, getting better together. Are we going to be A main guys? Never. But I don't feel any shame in racing with those guys, because I feel very competitive with them. And I know I'm not an A main guy, but I'm okay with it. So effects is really near and dear to my mindset, my vision. And I think that when people start catching on, it's going to create a final event. I think people are going to really dig the final event, because it's going to be the top 15 to 10 guys in the region. And I think they're going to put on a great show, and I think it's going to be worth sticking around for. So for the spectator, to me, it's going to be cool.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. The three different final, you're racing the same guys. How much track time would you get? Say if I was to come and just race Nitro buggy, how much track time would I get?
So you get the two 4-minute seating rounds in the traditional format. We keep in mind, we learned a lot from that first race on how to expedite the program a little bit, and we ran into some issues with the format, but we worked those out. But tentatively, you would get 2 4-minute seating rounds, 3 5-minute moto rounds, and if you made the final, you would advance to the final in that particular class. So there'll be a final for every group, all the way from sportsman, all the way short course, e-buggy, so forth and so on, truggy as well, all the way through. So there's a final event, which would typically just be your A main, really. I mean, so a lot of guys were confused by the change in the format, but if you look at it, it's the standard format. It's just a different way I associate terminology. So we're not calling it, a main or a B main or a C main. So the psychology of it is that, hey, I've been out, I've raced a lot, had a great time. I've bettered my position each moto. I'm doing my very best to make that lower end of that moto, that final moto. If I don't make it, I'm going to come back and try the next time. But there's no shame in what I did. I came out here and I kicked ass and did my best. And if I had my way, I would award everybody. And we did at that last event. I made a ton of awards and we gave a ton away. So, and I was happy, but that was our first race. We really wanted to try and test and tune a little bit. And we learned what worked and what didn't work. So you'll get a ton of time on the track, more so than any other format that I've ever run.
And your wife, does she race?
She does not, but you'd be hard pressed to not find her on the track marshaling or walking around, meeting and greeting. She absolutely loves it. She just likes to be a part of it,
Awesome.
which is new, which is absolutely new. I mean, I don't know what space alien abducted my wife, but I couldn't drag her to the track at gunpoint 3 months ago.
Sounds like my wife. Maybe if my son or daughter ever get up racing, she'll be more involved. Yeah, that's good, man. I like that. Dude, you're a busy man. Busy man. Busy.
Yeah.
Does she, quick question, I don't know if your wife's there. Does she think we need more females racing in RC?
She does, and she was really excited to see Jody Eller came out, and she was just mesmerized by her how fast she was on the track. So she's like, wow, there are some fast girls. And I said, there's a lot of fast girls. Miss Bella, who's a member of Fame Wolf. I mean, that girl is fast. So there are some really quick females, and she's excited. And she asked me to take her to the track and let her wheel around a little bit to see how she feels about it. So you never know. You might see her out there at the track racing before too long.
Yeah, that's another thing I'd like to see is definitely a lot more females racing. I want to see. I know people say, well, they should race with the men, but I would like to see a female main one day, and see who's the best out of all the females. It'd be great. And
yeah, that would be cool.
I would love to see it. So I got a message right here, and it's from your team manager and Ryan Schaefer. What's up, Ryan? And he just goes say to Rob, holy cow, Rob Issac, and you know what I'm saying.
Huh. Well, Ryan was recently promoted to the team manager role, so he's running the show now.
Yeah, he just said, say that, and you would know what he's talking about. I don't know. So, couple of questions here before we wind on. You're a promoter, you're a racer. You got so much things going on. We kind of touched on it. What do you honestly think of the state of RC right now? What can we do? What direction do we have to go into to change, to make things different, to get more people at tracks? And like like a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people sit there and say, oh, we're doing okay, and let's keep on doing the same thing we've been doing over and over again, expecting different results. But what would you like to see change? If you could change something right now.
So I think TV coverage is where we need to be and what we need to see. I think we need to have a wider audience and a way to reach more people. And I think that TV would be the way to go. I just don't see. Me and Tanya, my wife, were at Outback 2 weeks ago on a Saturday, and the bartender turned on the TV, and it was cornhole, and we were watching a cornhole tournament on ESPN. And the first thing she thought, and I thought, was, this is the most boring thing we've ever watched in our lives. Why couldn't they air a RC race, an A main of an RC race? I mean, I think people would be captivated and like blown away by what they're seeing. These little cars whipping around the track, blowing smoke, and I mean, how cool would it be? I don't know why we have not been able to achieve that. I think that would be the number one way. And second, I think that instead of concentrating on these huge and major events, people saving up for 6 months to go to one major event, I think we need to support the local tracks, the local shops, and bring bigger races and bigger events to those areas, like LCRC. he doesn't use outside promotion to promote his track or his facility. He does it himself, and he brings major events to his facility to gain traffic and to create more drivers. And I think that he's cornered the market in that aspect. So I think we need to do the same thing and support the tracks and support the shops, because if we don't, we're all going to be stuck with only being able to go to these major events. How can the hobby grow if a guy like me is too intimidated to go to PNB because of all the pressure, the anxieties that go along with it? I mean, I wouldn't go there to party and hang out. I'd go there to compete and do my best. Maybe if I can get into a different mindset, but I just can't. So I don't see how we're going to grow if we don't grow our homegrown areas and our tracks and open more tracks and more hobby shops. Adrenaline RC, Seth Hardison's got a very good vision for what he wants to do. He takes the young kids, cultivates them, works with them. Jake works with them, and he wants to expand that vision and maybe even franchise Adrenaline RC. I think he's working on another facility, not so much a track, but another shop. And so I think that's the way to do it. So, I mean, small local racers, small teams, small promoters like me, guys who coming in, let's save our money and support the local track. I mean, I'm not knocking the big races. Dave Leacomb's got to make a living somehow, right? I mean, these guys, Joey, all these big guys have got to make a living. I respect what they do and what they bring to the table, but to me, that's the equivalent of NASCAR. So I would have to save a while to go to Daytona to watch the Daytona 500, or I can go right down and see more captivating races and actually smell the nitromethane in the air and actually taste the dirt at my local late model track. And to me, if that late model track wasn't there, would I ever be into automotive racing? Would I ever be inspired to do it? Would I ever take the chance to do it or to become a part of a race team? I wouldn't. I would have no ability to do it. So how are the newcomers going to get a taste of what we do if we're not doing it at the local level? So you could say, oh, well, there's a great race at DNC. Okay, great. But little Johnny just got his first, tracks of Slash. How are we going to get him involved? What are we going to do to make him want to keep coming back? How about more really cool races at our local track? How about more really cool club events? And you go to a club race and there's 12 guys there. I mean, come on, guys. But there's 800 entries at these major events. But you got 12 entries at your local track's club race on any given night. I mean, it's just completely lopsided, and we have to change that for sure, or we're doomed. We're absolutely doomed. You're going to see the 40-plus class continue to grow, and nothing else if we don't change this.
I can absolutely agree with you. I'm all about I love big races. I mean, I can't, unfortunately, I don't live where I can go club race and whatnot. If I lived in America, I would definitely club race. And my attitude towards a lot of that has changed. I know Drake always says we need to get back to club racing and we need to do that. And I actually absolutely agree with you. To these tracks and supporting these tracks. Obviously, these guys have to make a living. Like, people don't make a lot of money running tracks. That's for sure. We all know that. In fact, people lose money running tracks. So, yeah, I can agree with everything you said, and definitely hobby shops, man. Hobby shops have to hit it from the three-prong attack, which is a good hobby shop, a good online presence, and a good track. So I agree with everything you said.
Yeah. And I'm not coming off being harsh to the promoters who spend thousands and thousands of dollars and countless hours making these events really cool. I'm inspired by them. I mean, I watch every one of the 5150 production videos of all the major races, and I dream of man, I'd love to be there with those guys. And I have team guys that go to these events and are a part of it. And, it's just at my level and at my comfort level, I'm excited to go to club races, man. I mean, I'm competitive. I'm able to sometimes podium at the club level, and I'm excited to go to the races every week. I prep all week long for a club race. I mean, I am out there in my garage or downstairs in my RC room prepping and getting ready for a club race. And I find a lot of stress relief in that. And I think that it's still, the club level is the way to grow it. And if we don't do that, then we're all going to be stuck saving our lunch money to go to PNB, which is fine. But what's that going to do for our local tracks? What's it going to do for our local hobby shops? I mean, A-Mains, they're going to be fine. They don't need any help. These major retailers are going to be fine. They're going to sell kits. They're going to promote their products, and they're going to continue to grow. But the poor track owner that's only sold 2 kits all week, and he's got a $6,000 a month rent to pay, and dirt to buy, track maintenance, employees. How can they make it? I mean, what can they do? So it's heartbreaking.
Yeah,
it really is.
It comes down to, we just need more people doing this. The more people doing this, the better it is for everybody.
Absolutely. And I'm with you, man. I want to grow this. I mean, I've done several podcasts, and I always say the same things. I want to grow it. Me at the track, I'm a different person. I mean, I'll be the first to tell you, I'm not unapproachable, but I'm rough, man. I mean, I'm there and I'm in it. And Fame Wolf Racing, I mean, we have a good time at the track. I mean, there's always beer in the cooler. There's always food. I mean, we're always trying to do something to make it fun and interesting.
When I come to a race, beer in the cooler and food and a good time, that's all I care about those days at races.
Yeah, I mean, it's when we can. I mean, the Tilt Yard to me is going to be a vacation, 3-day vacation. Go there, camp, and have a good time, and hopefully cook some good food and have some good times. And I mean, that's what it's all about, right? I mean, local.
That's what it is. That's
the local level.
That's what a lot of people forget is getting together. I always say this: RC. It doesn't matter what color, political background, what race, what religion you believe in, what country you're from. We have this common denominator that is RC that brings us together, and we should all be able to come together and enjoy just doing what we do and having fun and meeting new people. I mean, RC's been so good to me. I've met so many really good people through it, and opportunities have come because of that. So that's why I'm so passionate about this.
I know, and you of all people, you talk about me being busy, man. You're all over the place. I mean,
I wish I could race more, but we're getting back to having a track here, and maybe I'll get on a race. But I miss coming to America. Maybe I'll come for Wicked Weekend. We'll see. It depends on things go here with COVID wise, and I'm just nervous about getting stuck somewhere. So we shall see. But I wanted to ask you something. I see that you're so busy too. I see you do you play guitar?
I do.
Okay, I've seen it on your Facebook and whatnot. That's what Joseph's into now in his spare time, and he's not on Facebook now, so he has more time to dedicate to that. He's learning pretty fast too. How long have you been playing guitar for?
Since I was about 16, I guess.
Yeah, that's cool. Maybe you should hit him up and give him some tips. He's all into that now. All into guitar playing.
Yeah, it's an addiction, man. You start playing guitar, it's no different than RC. It's a very expensive hobby, and if you want to acquire, there was one time in my life when I had like 40 different guitars and probably just as many amps, and I was kind of a gear collector, so it's a lot of fun. Something you can do by yourself in your spare time, and it's a great stress reliever as well. So it seems like JQ needs to relieve some stress. He seems a little uptight, so it's the perfect thing for him.
Yeah, thank God he's off Facebook now. It's been so peaceful. I Cool, man. Keep up the hard work. I enjoyed this conversation with you. I get to know a lot more about what you're doing and about the man behind all of this. Would you like to shout out and say thank you to some people before we sign out, or is there anything else that you would like to mention before we sign off?
Yeah, I always like to thank RC1, Franco Desiderio, Maxi Velasco for everything that they do. They've brought me on and kept me well prepared for the races and support all of our guys with really, really great product lines. All of our sponsors, the team sponsors, AKA, I want to thank Joel Johnson for signing the team. It was really an honor for him to do something that's never been done. TJ Bradley from Hot Race Tires, he got us started with True Source, gave us our first team deal, which really helped the guys out. We ventured on to AKA this year. Phantom Racing. Can't say enough about those guys, what they're doing to help us get to the next level with really great products, just great motors and batteries. I can't say enough. Been very, very supportive of all my teams. Just everybody in general that's come out and supported Fame Wolf Racing, all my teammates, Gabriel Galliano for helping me grow the team and help me keep grounded with his many words of wisdom. He calls me and talks me off the ledge quite a bit. So he is what you are to JQ. Gabe is to me. Keeps me on the straight and narrow path. Ryan Schaefer for sticking it with me for so long since the beginning. It's been me and him. He's also been pretty close and knows all the ins and outs and all the problems. Even in my personal life, he's been a good source of me to be. He's my vent, so to speak. My wife for putting up with all of this and the expense and everything that's kind of come along the way. I thank her for everything she's done, and all my teammates. The best times of my life have been with those guys here in the last 3 years, and we've shared some really, really great moments and done some really great things. It makes me feel really good when we all come together. Like you said, our team's very diverse. We have a lot of different nationalities. Creed, color, doesn't matter on this team. We're all in it to win it. We're all there together, and that's been kind of the staple of Fame Wolf Racing, man. We all come together as one. Like you said, it's about unity, bringing guys together. And I thank you, man, because I know you probably don't know this, but you're the first guy that I reached out to. I told you my story 3 years ago, and I read the email that I sent you today through and through. I read it a couple times, and the story is still the same story I told you. That's where we got our start. Pretty much from that email, you offered to bring me on to the JQ team, and that's been 3 years, and here we are, and I finally made it onto your podcast. So
I was just starting 3 years ago too. So crazy, crazy stuff. Starting with JQ and all that there. So awesome stuff, man. Keep doing. I appreciate what you're doing. Now that I've talked to you and I figured out more and gotten to know who you are. It's not easy what you're doing either. So. Running races and being a team, like being in charge of a team. Well, you still you know what I mean. Even though Schaefer's your team manager, none of this stuff is easy because it's stressful, man. I know, but we have to do it.
Yep. And one more shout out. I own another team as well called Way of Life Motorsports, and it's a dirt oval team. And David Mason just went this weekend to the Spirit of RC and won the Mega 100 Outlaw race. Some big props to David Mason for going into hostile territory and winning for our team, Way of Life Motorsports. Congratulations, David. Super proud of those guys. It's a new team. They're about a year old, but they're also sponsored by Phantom and have really came on strong this year. They've had some great success with the product, and it's really doing well for those guys. And I'm just really honored that I've got a really good group of dirt oval guys and a really good team manager over there as well. Stan Gruber, phenomenal guy. He's just the most easygoing guy ever, and he's kind of leading that team. And we're going to grow that into a monster this year with dirt oval, because my heart's in dirt oval too. I love the dirt oval racing. So I forgot to mention those guys.
I think the sprint cars and all that stuff's cool. Something I want to try next time I come to America. I've never even been to one of those big races like that or anything, but like a real race. But I like the RC version of it. So definitely something I want to try.
But man, thank you so much for having me on, man. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I've always admired what you do.
Thank you. And keep up your good work, man. And hey, get some sleep, man. You gotta get some sleep now. You can't be 45 years old, can't be not sleeping. But I get it. Sometimes your mind doesn't stop. I know, I go through it too.
Absolutely. Well, hey man, keep doing what you do and rock on. And hey, there's always a place on Fame with Racing for you, man. So
I want one of those cool shirts. So yeah, I might just have to do it.
Hey, what size you wear?
It depends. Are those American sizes? Or
American.
3X.
3XL?
Yeah.
All right, I'll make that happen, man. I'll have one made up for you.
Sweet, man. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And keep up the good work. And I'll be following USRC and of course, FX of Nitro. And yeah, man. And enjoy it. You're doing good things.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it.
Are you tired of running laps against a clock? Are you tired of qualifying all weekend for a short little main event and cardboard trophies? Well, you better start packing, because your summer is about to sizzle. Scale Racing Sports and BeachRC.com present the newest off-road indoor arena racing event on the East Coast, the Summer Sizzler. If you run 1/8 scale Nitro, 1/8 scale e-cars, or 1/5 scale gas, grab a buddy, pack that shit up, and let's go racing. At the Summer Sizzler, we race heads up all the time. A full day of practice, 3 10-minute qualifying races, plus a last chance qualifier. 30-minute main events for all adult classes, and really cool trophies. Whether you're new to racing or a seasoned pro, register now at rcsignup.com or on site. Trackside hobby shop support from Beach Hobbies, free parking, free camping, free indoor pit area, and the largest driver stand and pit road you've ever seen. For more information, follow, like, and share us on Facebook at Scale Racing Sports. The Summer Sizzler, Labor Day weekend, September 4th, 5th, and 6th, Apex Arena, Withville, Virginia. The Summer Sizzler. Grip it and rip it.
This part of the podcast is brought to you by Rob's Oil. Rob's Oil has everything covered for your AMSOIL needs. Just hit up www.robsoil.com. Order your oil and it will be delivered to wherever you want. So when it does come to me going back to America and going to California, I'm going to hit up Rob's Oil, send some oil to Greg's house so he can get it changed and some filters, because we got to keep that janky JQ van going. Why AMSOIL, you may ask? Because AMSOIL makes top quality synthetic lubricants for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, four-wheeler, snowmobile, lawnmower, and anything else with an engine. Even the 5th scale guys are using AMSOIL products and lubricants, as well as some guys are using them in RC and the cleaners and all that stuff. Good stuff. They make a whole bunch of good products. AMSOIL lubricants are designed to help your equipment run at peak efficiency and last longer. Join the millions of proud AMSOIL users to experience the difference. Also, AMSOIL products are formulated, blended, and packaged in the USA. Why Rob's Oil, you may ask? Well, Rob is an RC racer. Him and his son race regularly. They love RC. They're big supporters of the podcast, and they're a small business. And we need to support each other in this RC community and help each other out. So go to www.robsoil.com, place your order for your AMSOIL products, and not only will you be supporting a fellow RC racer, but you will be supporting the podcast as well. Thank you, Rob, for your support. And now on to the JQ Janky Gypsy Tales solo, because I'm flying solo today. And actually, for this part of the DNC trip, Joseph isn't needed because he wasn't there. It's going to be pretty short and sweet. It's RC related, but it's also life related. So after we had planned on me driving the van across America, which is a whole other story, even though Joseph was there, I want to tell it when it's there because it's funny. I stayed at Jay Smoker's house for a little bit, and I was like, Joseph, I had told him, I said, I'm going to pop up and see my dad. I hadn't seen my dad for 21 years. He left Bermuda when I was like 14, and I went up when I was about 17 to see him, and I never went back. And we talked a lot on the phone, but I'd never been up to see him. I had a little brother. He had grown up. I had seen him when he was younger. Then I had a little sister. I'd never seen her. And just, I had a really still had a good relationship with my dad, talking to him and whatnot, but I hadn't seen him. So we had been talking, and he had gotten sick. I was like, Joseph, I'm gonna fly up to Seattle, because he lived in Seattle, Tacoma, and I'm gonna go see my old man for a couple of days. And I did that. So I booked some tickets. Sometimes in life you just got to do things, just on the fly. I've kind of been living my life has been an adventure ever since my accident. So going up to see my dad was something that I'm glad I got to do, and I wouldn't have been able to do it if I didn't go to DNC. So I hopped on I can't remember what plane, American, flew up, rented a little car, found my dad's house, got to see him a little while. He was really sick. He had cancer, so he was fighting it really hard, but he had really infection and all that stuff. So he was on a lot of meds, but he was still able to see me and talk, and we got to talk and sit down, and it was really good to do that. And then my brother, I got to hang out with him. So apparently during this time, there was a big race going on called the Holiday Hangover that happens in the Pacific Northwest. So I knew a few guys up there, Tim Wallace and another friend that was up there. I didn't know Monty Houston at this time. So he saw me up there. I was like, you didn't speak to me. I was like, I didn't know you. So me and my brother and I, we drove out to Moses Lake. It was about a 2.5 hour drive. So I let my brother drive because I think I was making him nervous with my drive. It's still not too experienced driving in America. So we're going up through these mountains. It starts snowing. I'm like, it's late February, early March. It's snowing. I'm like, dude, I've never driven in snow. So we're going through his drive, and I'm like, we can't stay up here too late because we might get snowed in up here. So we go to Moses Lake. Ryan Lutz was at this race. I went up to see Tim and his buddy, and I was just shocked at the amount of people up there racing in the Pacific Northwest. And this is kind of what has got me into really admiring what they do up there. Indoor horse arena, purpose-built track, people racing, pitting outside, pitting inside. It was a good, well-attended race. Holiday Hangover. Hope to make it up there another day sometime. And maybe meet Rob as well, because he's up from that area, I believe. But just an experience that I was able to go up and see my dad and also do some RC stuff at the same time and see a whole different RC, a whole different region of RC, and open my eyes to what's going on up there. So hung up there for a couple hours, and then my brother and I headed back to Seattle before it got too late. I did not want to get snowed in up there, and it was just a cool experience to go up and see, just to see that people racing indoors, and I just everything's about opening your minds. Traveling opens up your minds, and even this was just a short travel. I never would have thought to go up there. So I head back to Seattle, spend a couple of days with my dad, and my brother and my sister. And we, just bonding, having fun, because we never have spent time together. And his wife, who I knew, she was from Bermuda, nice lady. And yeah, just different. Seattle was different. I remember I went up there in the summertime before, and it was really nice. When in the wintertime, I don't know if I can handle it. Too rainy, too cold. That wasn't too cold, but just, I don't know. Just definitely during the summer. Hopped on a plane and headed back to California after that. That's just a short little gypsy tale of a RC gypsy tale that I wanted to share with you guys. I probably said it on the podcast before, But that would be the last time I see my dad. He actually passed away in October of that year, or early October of 2018. But I was fortunate to get up and see him one last time. 21 years I hadn't seen him. That's a long time. And while this story is meant to be fun, it's just my little testament to, if you want to go see somebody, don't waste time. You know, time is promised to nobody. Time is the one thing we're all limited on. If you want to do something in life, do it, because you never know. Tomorrow's not promised to nobody. And through RC, I was able to go see my old man once again. And I'll never, and people probably, wow, why you love RC so much and you're packed a bit. And that's reasons like that is why. Because of RC, I got to go see my pops again one last time before he passed away. And I'll never forget that. So, yeah, a kind of somber but testament gypsy tale, short and sweet. I was going to include this in this one anyway that I was going to do with Joseph. He was going to talk about the trip across America. But I just wanted to say thanks to Joseph and all the people that support JQ Racing, because if it wasn't for those guys, I wouldn't have been able to do that. I know this is an RC podcast, but if you haven't seen a relative or a friend in a long time, make that effort to go see them. I have to take that advice myself because I have to go home and see my family in Bermuda. But RC is awesome, and RC allowed that to happen. And I want to give back to RC as much as I can and make it as awesome as I can. Try to make it as awesome as I think it should be. So next week we'll be back with some funny RC Gypsy Tales. I've got a few guests lined up that know Joseph as well. I got a few of my Bermuda friends lined up. We're going to talk about some of our travels from Bermuda, and it's good to catch up with the Bermuda guys too. We had some fun times as well. In fact, we were just talking about it the other day on the WhatsApp chat. Thank you to Rob Zoy for sponsoring this, and thank you guys for listening to my little rambling testament for 9 minutes. And hey, up next is the JQ Racing Rant.
We are now at that point of the show where you should fasten those seatbelts and put your big boy pants on.
Whoa. Things are about to get serious.
It's time for the JQ Racing Rant.
We're back. We're back with the JQ Racing Rant. If you get offended fast, don't listen to this part of the podcast, because we're back. What's up? You were saving this rant. You didn't have time. We didn't have time to do it last week. So it's been simmering deep within inside you. I'm not even going to say, I don't even know what this is about. So you know what? The floor is yours, Joseph.
This is a general rant. This isn't an RC rant per se, but of course, it affects RC too. This affects everything in life, because it's about something that we all do. All people do this, but we all do it to different degrees. And the reason I'm ranting about this is when people do this so blatantly, like so obviously, and I don't think that they can be so blind that they don't see this. It's like they see this issue, but they just don't care. Or I don't know how they convince themselves that it's okay. I really don't. And it has to do with hypocrisy. We're all hypocrites. All of us are. We all have something that we believe in, that we support, or that we say, but then our actions don't quite align with that. So let's say, like, just a simple example, like someone saying, oh, I'm so against animal abuse and I'm for animal rights and this and that, and then they go buy minced meat at the grocery store, and do you see what I mean? Like they say that they're against something, yet they eat meat. Like if you really truly passionately are against animal cruelty and you believe in animal rights and this and that, then I think you should be vegan, or then at least sort of not support the big industrial scale meat industry. You know, I don't know. I'm sure there are some kind of hippie sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? In Finnish, it's luomu.
What do we?
It's like when it's natural.
What, like when an animal dies naturally or something?
No. Like they do, like let's say a farm, like
Oh,
it's a
organic
private farm.
Organic.
Yeah, organic. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like I'm sure there's some, organic meat and eggs and all that stuff. Like animals are treated well and all that stuff. So my point just being like, we all do this. We all have things that we believe in, things that we're against, but we all prioritize them somehow. Like, oh, it's just so convenient to eat this Big Mac. It's just so convenient to eat meat and eggs and this and that. Like, I care about those things, but I don't care that much. So I'm just going to go ahead and be comfortable in my own life, right? We all do that.
Yes, of course. We do it.
Yeah.
We all do it.
My problem is when this kind of thinking goes too far, in the sense that the things that are affecting our lives and the things that we consistently say that we care about, we still aren't doing the right things. That's annoying to me. Just this kind of thinking, like, for example, people, they say like, I support the little guy, I like to support small businesses, and I like to support my friends, and they talk the talk, right? But they don't walk the walk. So instead of supporting your friend who has a business, for example, they buy from corporations. They support corporations. Instead of just supporting your friend who has a business, for example, you ask for something for free or a discount. And when you don't get it, you go and buy something at full retail from a corporation.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Right? How can you say that you support your friends, you support people who are entrepreneurial and doing good things, and this, like, you say those things and you post posts and you post memes and you do this and you do that, but you don't fucking go in your pocket and support it by buying something or joining whatever they're doing, or like, do you see what I mean? Like, you don't do that. You ask for a discount, you ask for free. When you don't get it, you turn around and you go to some big faceless corporation and you support them without any question. That's one thing you see in RC too.
It's prominent in RC. It's prominent, super prominent.
Yeah, it's like, or for example, like, I completely agree with this person or this company and these opinions. Like, this is awesome, and then you support someone who basically is against that. So it's like ideologically you are aligned with one group or one entity, but then you don't support them. You support someone who is against that. It's like two different points of view at the same time in someone's mind. Like, how does that work?
Actually, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, what were you gonna say?
Well, I just looked up that meme that we see pop up a lot, and it says, Friends will ask for discount prices. True friends will pay full price to support you, your time, your time, and your work. And we even came up with a quote earlier this week. Give me free shit, watch me fail, and it's all your fault that I failed.
Yeah. That's a whole different story. Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah. It's if you want to give somebody a discount, like, look, I've asked for discounts. I'm not gonna. I get it from her, haggling her in a DR, but I'm quick. I'll pay full prices, man. I do. I mean, if somebody wants to give me a discount, so be it. I'm not gonna ask for much. I'll be like, hey, if you could help me out with that, that'd be great. And maybe it's a person I buy from all the time. But man. I feel you on this one, just about. Honestly, feel you on this one. I mean, we go through it.
Yeah, but it's not only that. It's I'll give you another example. So many people say this, and we've covered this on this show too. But it's just another example of this way of like non-thinking. You say things need to change. RC needs a World Series. Oh well, not that one. Or we need new people in this. We need to make RC, seem more inviting to people and introduce it to new people. And we need to grow this. We need to change something. Well, not that way. Let's not change that.
Yeah.
Oh, RCGP, what RCGP did was awesome. Like people should get behind this. And the media production was just amazing. It's like looking at full scale racing. It's incredible. It's awesome. I love it. But I'm not going to join it or support it, or we're not going to join. It's just not right. It's too big of a risk. We don't really know what it's all about. Like maybe they should have done maybe it should have been free for everyone, and so we can see what's going on. Like, what the fuck? Like, people can't even have an opinion and then stick by it. Like, it's
put your money where your mouth is.
All these different things, all these different topics. These are, at the end of the day, many of these things are not complicated, really. If you really want, if people on an individual level really wanted to understand problems, figure out solutions, they could do it. But they can't even sit down for 5 minutes and get their own thoughts straight in their head. So they don't know what they think, and they just go with the flow in any given situation. They just shoot from the hip, boom, whatever, however they felt at that moment. Instead of figuring out what the fuck their opinions actually are and then sticking by them. That's how you make progress. That's how you improve on any given situation. You take all the facts, you study them, you figure shit out, you make up your mind, okay? After you've made up your mind, then you work towards the solution consistently. And along the way, if you find out that when you made up your mind, you didn't have all the information, or you made a mistake somehow, then you adjust along the way. But you don't just completely change and be like, this opinion today and that opinion tomorrow. In this instance, I am of this opinion. In this other instance where it's not beneficial for me, I'm going to be on the complete opposite opinion. It's fucking bullshit. It's so annoying. That's one reason, actually, why I wanted to leave Facebook, because this kind of thinking always goes on, right? But on social media nowadays, there are companies who take advantage of this. Like, they are spending money making fake memes and ads and targeting people with all this propaganda to try and make them a certain opinion, make them have a certain opinion. And it's just so annoying to see people fall for it. And oh my God, I just wanted to get out of that shit. Because the thing is that I think all of us human beings, like I said, we're all hypocrites to some extent. I think it's human nature to be selfish and greedy. I think so. Deep down, that's how we are. We care about ourselves. We care about then eventually our family, the people we love. That's how we are. That's how we operate. But we live in a world where that's not compatible with the society we've created. We need to care about more than just ourselves or our families, And the problems we see, I think, almost all boil down to this problem in people. The fact that they don't make up their minds, and they lack integrity. People are far too hypocritical in everything in their lives. Do you see my point?
Oh, you definitely got on your soapbox. I can tell that this has been simmering for a while. But a lot of what...
Yes, because it doesn't matter if it's a big thing, the worldwide protests, this and that, or if it's a small thing like supporting your friend's business, or if it's a slightly bigger thing in the small thing of RCGP, for example. It's just everything, every kind of different thing that we do in the world.
Yeah.
These are the problems that we face.
Unfortunately, Joseph, the world is not perfect, and nobody is perfect. And nobody's perfect, man, but we can all strive to be good people at the end of the day. And being a good person, like we talked about a lot, it's about who you know in life. I try to listen to everybody. I try to conversate with everybody because you learn when you talk to people. You learn when you listen what their thoughts and where they come from. And maybe you can affect change by talking to them and showing them things differently. That's my way of doing things. But I also understand that different circumstances make people believe and make people feel different ways. Like here in the DR, it's a lot of stuff that I would consider I think is just silly and ignorant. Like, for instance, something silly. My wife thinks that if you're hot and sweaty, even just as simple as this, if she's been ironing, she refuses to go to the fridge and open up the fridge because, it's going to give you a stroke. That's ridiculous. But this is what, not just her believes it. Her mom believes it, and all these people believe it. And I'm like, I'll come in, I'm all hot and sweaty. I'm like, look, see, I'm opening the fridge. I'm putting my head in top of the fridge, and nothing's happening. So a lot of people are maybe what is good to them is different from what you understand. Like, everybody has different circumstances, different cultural upbringings, everything. So it's different. Like when I first moved her to the DR, like, I would have never thought of giving a cop money to let me go. But now that I'm here, it's normal to me. Like, it's part of life. Is it right? Probably not, but it's the way to get by her. It's either give them 100 pesos or they're going to take you to the jail and just make your life a living hell. What would you rather do? So I don't know, man. I think what happens in life, it depends on your circumstances, where you are, how you grew up. People grow up in Finland different from people that grow up here in the DR or in Bermuda, or we grew up different in Bermuda than people in America. So it's a lot of things, a lot of circumstances. I think we have to all take that into account. But at the end of the day, I think people should just strive to be better in whatever they do. Be better people, help people out more. I think I find myself doing that more now. Little things. Like the guy who has one arm and one leg, who I see outside the supermarket all the time. He can't work. He can't do nothing. So I give him money. Like, every time I see him, I give him, even if it's 100 pesos or 50 pesos, I always give him more. Because to me, that's like, yeah, man, this guy can't work. Like, he's got one leg and one arm. He's just help people out. I don't know, man. I don't know. I see a lot of unselfish acts here in the DR too that make me like things. Like, like people don't have anything. You go to their house. Maybe it's a shack. Maybe it's, but it's theirs. They're always going to make you something to eat. Send the little nephew down to the Kamado to get a little packet of coffee and make you some coffee. Stuff like that. So it's different. Like, society and life are moving in another. Are you still here? Are you listening to me?
Yeah.
Society and life are moving in a lot of different in forward. And when you move forward and technology is advancing, technology doesn't have feelings. It doesn't have compassion. It doesn't have empathy or apathy. Sorry, whatever the word is. So we're moving to where everything, literally, people can be in the same room and we could be, instead of talking to each other, we'd be texting to each other. That's the type of life, the less communication, the less actual physical communication we have with people, the more immune to lots of things that we get. While I love social media and it's great for a lot of things, that's one of the worst things about it. There's still a lot of good in the world, Joseph. A lot of good people doing a lot of good things. It's just that, I will say this, social media, negativity sells, and that's what everybody promotes. And it just is what it is. And everybody has different cultural upbringings, Joseph. It's hard. Like, I remember when I told you when you was moving to the Philippines, I was like, Joseph, you're telling me your plan. And I'm like, hey, Joseph, it's not going to happen like that. I remember telling you that. I said, I had all these plans too, man. You're going to have to learn to adapt to life down there. And I think that's one of the reasons you didn't end up enjoying it down there, because you didn't adapt. You couldn't adapt. And for me, one of the reasons I enjoy living in the DR, because I have adapted. I still have my thinking, my way of thinking, like I know this and I know that and all that type of stuff. But I've learned, man, when you try to fight an entire country that isn't yours, the only place you're going to end up is like driving yourself nuts. So you learn how to learn the language, learn how to do this, learn how to do that. So I don't know. Maybe I'm going off tangent. Sorry. But just kind of my response to, we don't know what causes people to be certain ways in their lives. So sometimes we have to sit down, talk with them, and find out why they feel that way before we judge and before we say that they aren't a good person or they should strive to be better. We need to know why they're like that first. And then once you figure out why, then you can work to a solution to becoming better people together. Does that make sense to you? Or you didn't listen to me? You didn't listen to me.
I
Life is funny. We have to accept people. Well, obviously, if somebody's doing something completely stupid and wrong, we don't accept that. At the end of the day, man, and I keep saying this, and I said it on this podcast, we have RC. It's the one common denominator that we have that bring people from all over the world together. Like, believe it or not, people from all over the world listen to us ramble on this podcast, right? So that's pretty amazing to me. We have one thing in common, that's RC. And we may not agree. We may not agree on a lot of things outside of RC, but this is the one spot. And even in RC, we may not agree with a lot of things. But one thing we can all agree on is that we love this sport hobby. And I think I would say 99.9% of the people want this hobby, this sport, to be bigger, to get more exposure than what it is. The problem is there's a small percentage that controls the overall hobby. You know what I mean? There's a small percentage that controls everything that goes on. And it's difficult. If you don't get them on board, it's like they take their ball and fuck off. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want to play. You're not playing to my rules, so I want to go. I'm not going to win. So that's kind of how I look at it.
What I was saying, because it's human nature to be selfish.
Yeah. But
selfish and greedy. That's it.
Unfortunately, if we
People
all
don't tend to see the greater good,
unfortunately,
or anything long term.
Yeah,
it's like short term benefit to me. Okay, that's good. They don't think any further than that. People shit on other people because they aren't in that position. They're like, I would never be in that position. They don't think that I could be in that position, and why would I like it if people were shitting on me when I was in that position? They don't think that far, you know.
It's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate, but it's just kind of how the world is going, man. We're just becoming desensitized to a lot of things, man. Unfortunate.
It's a choice. It doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah, it is a choice. It is a choice. It is a choice. You got all serious there for a second, Joseph. I hope you ain't crying.
I'm only crying because you censored me.
I did not. Oh, Lord have mercy. Joseph, it's been a blast. Thank you for your emotional rant. And I want to say good luck tomorrow in your race. And how many entries do you think you're going to get? How many participants?
Like 60, 30, e-buggy 30, Nitro. But in Finland, most people only race one class. Like they either run e-buggy or they either run Nitro.
Are you going to run e-buggy?
Fuck no. Just Nitro.
All right. Well, man, I hope you have fun. Good luck to everybody out there at the PNB. Have fun. Be safe. Looks like it's going to be a great event. I'll be watching online. Hopefully they have some decent coverage. And yeah, it's good to be racing again, I guess. So hopefully this lasts a little longer and things keep on going. And Joseph, good luck. Have fun. Do well. I hope all the new testing you've been doing goes well. And thank you to all of our listeners from around the world. Thank you to the hashtag NNRC squad. We appreciate your support. Thank you to our patrons on Patreon. Without you guys, none of this is possible. And thank you to our awesome sponsors and advertisers that are Tekno RC, Beach RC, JQ Racing, Papa Willie's Traction Tonic, Rob's Oil, www.manscaped.com, and BK Servers. Remember, everybody, showing our sponsors some love shows the podcast some love. If you're racing this weekend, have fun. Remember, Nitro is the glory, but e-buggy pays the bills. And if you ain't grinding, you're sliding. Joseph, good luck.
Thanks.
Lefty out.
Thank you for listening to the No Name RC podcast. We greatly appreciate all the support and love from you, the listeners. Without all of you, none of this is possible. Special thanks to our patrons on Patreon. If you wish to support the podcast further, you can at patreon.com/NNRC podcast. As a patron, you will receive early releases, special content, and patron-only giveaways. Also, please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and our website, www.nnrcpodcast.com. Remember, Nitro is the glory, but e-buggy pays the bills. If you aren't having fun, it doesn't make sense. And if you ain't grinding, you're sliding. Lefty out. Nitro is the glory. Nitro is the glory. Nitro is the glory.